not too far away from Visitor Mapanya, is on 25 as well. So those are part of the Zimbabweans that I beat closer today, as we'll give you this live broadcast on ZBC TV from Royal Harare Golf Club. It is, of course, the FBC ZIM Open Golf Championship. And of course, my name is Valentine Mabuga, and we shall be giving you all the progress. But without much further ado, right now, let's do cross over to our commentators, and that is Pascal Medea, who will be taking us through the different rounds taking place, particularly following, I'm sure, a bit later on, how Robson Chinoi, Zimbabwe's best hopper so far, who's tied for 9th, will be progressing. But for the leaderboard, that's how it's looking, with Villion now on top on 13 under. Carrera is now tied with him on 13 under. And for third is the Austin Bautista, the Australian, who's there on 10 under, with Hugo on 8 under as well. So let's enjoy the action. I shall be back with you a little bit later on.
Very much, Valentine, for that wonderful introduction. To our viewers, welcome to the final round of the FBC ZIM Open 2025 edition. As Valentine has already said, we do have local interests. We have got 7 of our own players out of the 64 players who made the halfway cut. Initially, we had a field of 156 competitors, 30 of whom were Zimbabweans. Among the Zimbabwean contingent, we had 8 amateurs. Unfortunately, none of those made the 36 hole cut, but obviously that was valuable experience for them. Of the 22 professionals, 7 made the cut, so I think it's just a question of numbers. You'll find that of the total 156 golfers who started the tournament, 41% made the cut. That is 64 out of 156. To our own credit, our 22 professionals, 7 professionals made the cut, which is 31%. So all in all, even though we would have loved all of our local players to be playing the full 4 rounds, I think the boys did relatively well. It's a game of large numbers, as you may be aware. South Africa is a huge powerhouse in global golf. We have had the likes of Annie Els before him, Gary Player, Louis Oosthuizen, and other big names who challenge in the majors, in the big 4 tournaments in the world. So in Zimbabwe, we do have fewer golfers. So when some of our own compete with the South Africans, I would hasten to say, I think we are really punching, close to or above our weight in terms of numbers. So I think with developments going on in the country, hopefully in future, we will also produce another world number 1, because the aforementioned Nick Price is the only golfer in Zimbabwe to have achieved that status. So we will go and have a look at footage from yesterday. That was the defending champion, Neil Shittikat, from last year's defending champion. Unfortunately, last year and this year, he didn't do so well. But again, he's also, like all the other 64 golfers, enjoying the sunny skies of Royal Harare. That is our first view of the 18th hole, the last hole, where hopefully towards the end of the day, we will see the final parts going down. There's still a lot of golf to be played. We have 2 people tied on 13 under par, Louis Carrera and Austin Bautista. We expect them to be teeing off at 11:36. So maybe 4 to 5 hours after that, that's when we expect the winner or the leading players to be coming in. As you can see from our scoreboard, the difference between number 6 and the current leader is a healthy 7 shots. But with golf, anything can happen, especially on a layout like Royal Harare, where the greens are really quite fast and we've got trouble almost on every hole. There's a lot of sand on the course, the bunkers, and when the course is set up as it is for championships, once you get into trouble, sometimes it means losing a shot or two. So up there with the leaders, you see Trevor Fisher Jr. 3 years ago, he was leading the tournament until the 17th hole, where he got into trouble on the left green side bunker, made double, and then eventually lost in a playoff. So that is footage from hole number 10, where we now have Neil Shitkat and his playing partner. They are now teeing off, going to the back nine. Those who are familiar with the Royal Harare layout all agree that the back nine seems to be a bit tougher than the front nine. Actually, hole number 10 statistically has proven year in, year out to be the hardest hole on the course for our professionals. So that is where Neil and his playing partner are teeing off. Again, another look at our leaderboard. Interesting names there. On 9 under, Eni Otto, a veteran at 49. A few years ago, he won in Europe on the European Tour, now the DP World Tour. He won the Italian Open. He's also a former winner of the South African Open, a regular visitor to Harare. Last year, he was in here with a shout. So, unfortunately, this year he was leading the tournament after round number 2 on 7 under, but he found the going a bit tough yesterday and dropped a shot, so he's now on 6 under. So again, footage there of a former winner, Neil Shitkat, teeing off on number 10 yesterday. As Valentine mentioned before, the course record is above 20 under, given the changes that had been made to Royal Harare in the last year or so. Nick Price is a periodic visitor to the course, and he always takes time out to have a look at how some of the trees would have grown, the bunkering and so forth. So he did trim some of the trees because the members were complaining that it was becoming too tough for them. So conventional wisdom was that with some of the trees gone, like on, for those who are familiar, on number 17 and number 9, that perhaps maybe the professionals, when they came in for the Zimbabwe Open, would then, have a go at the course record. But Royal Harare has held its own. By the look of things, even with the changes made to sort of soften the course, last year's score of 20 under is unlikely to be challenged during the course of the week. The lowest round we have seen so far is a 7 under par. So assuming one of the leaders who are currently sitting on 13 under shoot that or better, only then will they be able to challenge last year's score. But again, given the weather conditions, it's sunny out there. It's not really windy at all. It's expected that towards the end of the day, maybe we may get a bit of cloud cover, but temperatures are really mild, so we don't expect the greens to be given much. If it had been raining, perhaps maybe that's when we would have thought perhaps the professionals would then take advantage of the wet conditions. But since it is a bit dry, we expect that low scoring is not something that everyone will be able to do. But again, you never know with these professionals. The local support would be hoping that Robson Chinoi repeats his heroics in the Pro-Am on Tuesday, where he shot a bogey-free 62, that is 10 under par. Unfortunately, he has not been able to repeat that form from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Hopefully, he will be able to turn on the fireworks later on today. But yesterday, there was good play, but no dramatics. I think the best round of the day yesterday was a 6 under 66. So there is nobody who's really running away with the tournament. We've got a bunched up leaderboard, and in the last group, it's all even Stevens. So we expect the competition to really heat up, because sometimes when you have somebody running away with the tournament, they tend to play defensively, but there is all to play for. So we'll wait and see what happens at 11:36 when Austin Bautista and Louis Carrera tee off at the final group. As you can see, even the short ones at Royal Harare are not easy, because these greens do have some slopes, and when they are cut to be as quick as they are, even the pros themselves have to give them a bit of respect. If they were much slower, sometimes you find that the pros can be very aggressive, but the problem with golf is you still have to play the ball after missing. So you have to balance between the aggression to try and make the putt, as well as knowing that if you do miss it, you want to have an easier one coming back. To the right of our screens there, a look at some of the less pleasant areas that you will find yourself in. The rough, if you do miss the fairway. As you can see, the player to our right didn't really get it where he was supposed to be, so that is also the bunkering close to the green on number 18. Well, the geese at Royal Harare are now used to traffic on the course. I'm sure they are also enjoying the sunlight, even though they may not be aware that there's some decent money to be won by whoever becomes 2025 FBC Zimbabwe Open Golf Champion. A view of the car park. As usual, the golf-loving public in Zimbabwe come out to watch their favorite professionals taking on Royal Harare. Another view of the champion from 2 years ago, New Skitticat, managed to make the cut, but found the going tough. So there's always something to play for as long as you are playing 4 rounds. That is the beauty of golf. It's not always guaranteed that whoever is leading after day 3 is the one with the best chance. Sometimes these golfers find something on the practice range, and all of a sudden everything clicks and they come in and have a fantastic round. But as of today, I think is more than 10 shots off the lead, so the chances are rather remote that you will be able to recapture the glory of 2 years ago. Again, our golfers giving the royal greens a bit of respect. If you get too aggressive and go past the pin, the downhill paths will be much quicker than the uphill paths. So as you can see there, there's a bit of an advantage if you then leave the ball below the wall. But again, these greens are very sloppy. So even though for pace it's better to have an uphill putt, there's nothing you can really take for granted on these greens. They are large, accommodating in terms of finding the green itself, but if you are not close to the pin, sometimes you can easily putt 3 times there. So you have to balance out the need to bring the ball closer to the wall, as well as the safety of making sure that if you miss the green, you don't have a hard time getting back onto the green. That's another view of toward the right of our screens of the 10th hole. The group behind Neil and his playing partner teeing off. Unfortunately, he didn't get that putt in the last time, but left it close enough to make short work of the remaining putts. To the left of our screens, both players had missed the green and chipped up onto the green. Again, you'll be putting uphill, so you can afford to be a bit more aggressive, and hopefully he learned something from what had happened to his playing partner. Well, didn't quite get it there, but left it close enough to be able to mark and drop only one shot. As you can see, the professionals, because they are playing for money, they usually give even the short putts a lot of respect and go there through their usual routine. Every shot counts in golf, and sometimes a small putt like this could be worth thousands of dollars. So the damage restricted there, he had left about a meter or so. So sometimes on these greens, even a putt that is less than a meter can actually give you trouble. Our first look at hole number 9 green. Today the pin is cut towards the back of the green. As you can see, the hospitality tents of the tent of our major sponsor, FBC Holdings, where their customers can view the action out of the sun. So behind those tents is hall number 18, where we hope the fireworks will happen towards the end of the day. To the left of our screens, hall number 9 green, and to the right of our screens, that is the fairway on hall number 10. I'm sure in the trees there you can see our broadcasting van, where we're giving you the commentary live from Royal Harare. Right, let's see how the player to our left will deal with this one. He is short-sided himself. You'll find that there's very little room between the edge of the green and the pin. Fortunately for him, he is going uphill. Got to be a bit too careful there. One more meter and he would have been on the green. As you can see from the shadows, that pin is dangerously close to the edge of the green, so he couldn't afford to be aggressive. I think he has decided to use his putter now from the edge of the green. Every shot counts, as we have said before. So even though he is not on the green, you'll try and treat it like a putt. That green slopes from front to back, so we'd expect that you'll be aiming a bit to his right, but he can't afford to be too aggressive, because also once you go past that flag, the ball will really pick up speed and run away from the flag, so he has to be a bit careful. As you can see, just a little touch. Unfortunately, that will be another dropped shot there. He has to clean up and move on to the next hole. To our right, that is hole number 18. That putt would break from his left to the right. Almost got it, but unfortunately even the little ones count as well. I'm now joined in the studio by fellow professional golfer and also a participant in the 2025 FBC Open. A young man learned the game in Zimbabwe, now based in Australia. Welcome to the broadcast, Matipa Paspanojga. How are things this morning?
Thank you, Mr. Mada. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing good, enjoying watching a few holes being played. Yeah, it's been a good morning, ready to see what's going to happen today.
So your experience is so far bringing back to perhaps what you may not want to talk about. How has been Royal Harare treating you this week?
All I can say is it's a championship course. I came back a few weeks ago, and this week was definitely not the same course we played the last few weeks. So just a very big thank you to the ground staff, Cephas and his crew, and Mr. Chikwaya for all they've done. They've made it a very good track for the weekend.
For the benefit of our viewers, when you say it's not the same, you literally grew up playing this course. Did they bring in new trees for the occasion? What exactly happened, Matipa?
Oh wow, what a putt. They've just controlled what they could. The putting greens, very unpredictable, fast, hard, firm, and they just did what they could do, and they did an excellent job to make it tough for players.
In your own experience, the balance between skill and luck in golf, do you believe there's such a thing as having a bit of good fortune, or it's only skill?
I believe there's luck in everything. Skill can take you so far, but I mean, you could be playing against Tiger Woods and he happens to hit his ball off a rock and into the water. And you'll just take the lead from there. So I do believe skill and luck. Luck is it's one of those where you can get it once in a while, or you can be one of those guys that are always lucky. So skill and luck are very important things when you're playing, especially on a hard course like this.
For the up-and-coming professionals like yourself, would there be a shortcut? Is there a way where you can say perhaps maybe you can continue playing with the amateurs and hopefully you start by winning the big ones, or you all have to go through this where perhaps maybe you get a bit of baptism of fire, so to speak?
I've always believed that there's some guys that just have the gift from God to play golf and win. And that's great for them, but there's also just some guys that have to put in the extra work. I'm one of those guys that have to put in extra work. But I do believe that there's no shortcuts to success. If you just have it, you have it, but not many people do.
A close-up view of that pin on number 9 there. Matipa, when you've got these pins cut to the edges like this, and it's the last day with all to play for, what do you think would be the right play there? Go to the heart of the green and hope the putter does its job, or you take your chances? Because for two groups in a row right now, the players have short-sided themselves to the left of that, to the right of that bunker, which is to the left of our screens.
Yes.
And I think in the previous group, the player in question tried to putt through the fringe and left, tried to just pitch it on and left it on the fringe, and he ended up having to take a bogey because his par putt, his fourth shot was really a putt from just off the green. What do you think would be the best play? Do you ignore the flag and go center of the green, or you take your chances?
Honestly speaking, I think for this morning field, just going left side of the green's good, because you're going to leave yourself a great putt, like right here. That was a good putt. There's a slope where that pin is, so it's really just unlucky. Afternoon field, I do believe some guys are going to try go for it. With the pressure of just trying to get force birdies, kind of. But yeah, just the safer play is to go for the middle of the green. There's a slope going down there, so it can work to your advantage. But like I said, afternoon field, we're going to see a few more shots, a few more sprays due to pressure. And yeah, I just feel like some of the guys are going to have a good go at it.
Well, let's see whether he learned anything there. I want to believe that that particular putt breaks a bit from
Yeah.
his left to the right, and now he's putting uphill, so he can afford to be a bit aggressive, isn't it?
That's a great
Yeah.
roll.
Talking of hole number 9, unfortunately we can't, off the tee, we can't see it off the tee. There used to be trees to the left. Hole number 9, dog legs, turns a bit sharply to your left. Do you think there's been a huge impact when those trees were cut? Nick Price came in and obviously the members were complaining that it had become impossible. I think in terms of rating, that was the third hardest hole on the course. Do you think the pros have benefited much from the removal of those trees, or is still a challenge for everyone as it has been throughout the years?
100%. I feel before the trees were cut down, this hole was either a momentum gainer or a breaker. You could get very unlucky by leaving out to the right side, being scared to go just draw it over the trees, or but since the trees were cut down, the holes become not easier but a bit more accessible to the pin for your second shot, and it's really just promoted shot shaping off the tee, whereby you can now hit a fade where 5 years ago you'd be crazy if you did that.
To the left of our screens there, you can see our broadcasting van from where we are giving you live commentary. What's your take on hole number 10? Year in, year out, the toughest hole for the pros. Do you think something should be done, or perhaps maybe we should just leave it as it is and enjoy the carnage there?
So, being honest, being a junior that grew up here, hole number 10 is playing as the hardest hole this week for the professionals, but it's just a whole different golf course, like I said, when this tournament comes round. I feel like it's a very good hole, another make or break hole, especially if you're coming off a bad or good 9. It can give you heartbreak. So I just feel like it should be left alone, because if you go a little bit over the pin, left or right, you've got a very hard chance to make an up and down. So yeah, it's a disaster hole, or it's a very good hole if you play it well.
Overall, your views regarding the 2 9s, they all pay to a par of 36. Front 9, we have 2 par 5s, 2 par 3s, and 5 par 4s, the same at the back 9. But do you think the level of difficulty is the same?
No, not really. I like overthinking things, and I'd like to say it depends what time you play it as well, the 2 9s. If you're playing in the afternoon, the back 9's a little bit easier, because that's the 1 9 that you actually need a little bit of distance off the tee and precision. Overall, I believe the back 9 is probably the hardest 9 holes, especially coming down that stretch of 15 to 18. It's just a very hard couple of holes that you just need to firm and get through. But yeah, the front 9's pretty good. You have a few more chances to make mistakes and reap rewards off it. So the back 9 is definitely the lion of this week.
That is where we think things will heat up. We expect that in the next 5 hours, perhaps, that's when action would have moved to the back 9. But the good thing about golf is the whole tournament can be spread throughout the day. So for those of us who like watching shots, there's always some action going on there. We're not making a direct comparison with soccer, where if you are tied up for 90 minutes and you can't watch, you'll have to look for highlights and replays and things like that. So that is the joy of golf. Each player gets to decide what they do. You're not really competing with anyone, isn't it? There's no one who's marking you, interrupting you. Do you think it would have been easier if opponents were allowed to distract other opponents, or they already have is enough of a challenge? I mean, in golf, really, we've noticed that when people are playing, the ball is stationary, the opposition is stationary. You get to move when you want. What's your take on that?
I feel like you don't need an opponent to ruin things. Honestly speaking, I've seen people choke by themselves with no other explanations. So it's really just individual when you're trying to beat yourself and beat the golf course at the same time. And that was a great putt there on 9.
Yeah, it's amazing how some people get the combination of speed and line together. But how much of green reading do you think is an art, and how much of it is a science?
I feel putting in general is art because there's just so many different ways to go about it, from the way you hold the golf club to your pace, how hard you hit it, because we can put 3 balls together and hit them different speeds and different directions, and they can still somehow end up getting into the hole. And like you said early on about luck, sometimes it's just about luck, because we're not perfect human beings, so sometimes you can make a misread and still happens to go inside the hole.
Before you joined us in the studio, we were musing on whether this year the competitors can equal last year's winning score of 20 under. So far, as you may be aware, you've got 2 people sitting on 13 under, and the round of the week so far has been 7 under. What do you think the winning score is likely to be this year?
Yeah, I'd love to say 20 could be a good number, but it just really depends on the day. If the guys, I know they're capable of going way lower than that, but it's just about how you control your emotions today, how relaxed you are, because that's just, I feel, on this golf course, how you can win, how relaxed you are. You're not forcing shots. You're not stressed if that putt doesn't go in. You're just going to hit the next shot the best you can.
And the course record, do you think anybody is going to shoot 61 this time round in these conditions?
I'd like to believe someone early on who's already started is hungry, very hungry to prove a point that they can do it. And I'd love to see that. I love seeing the guys that had no chance and were probably looked down on just come back and pull off an amazing performance. So I'd love to say every time there's golf being played, the course record's in trouble. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Your take on hometown favorite Robson Chinoi? On Wednesday, he shot 62.
Yep.
Do you think if you were his coach, would you encourage him to throw caution to the wind today, sitting on 5 under? If he gets it to 10 under, if he gets in another 10 under round, he's probably looking at 15. If you were his coach, what would you encourage him to do? Go aggressive and throw it all away, or plod on as has happened in the last couple of days?
So I've caddied for Robson. We've played together, and I've learned a lot from him, and I've actually also just learned about him. And the only thing that I could possibly tell him today, I actually sent him a message this morning, and I told him to just relax. This is yours. I just feel like when he's relaxed, he plays his best golf, and I don't think you can ever take a golf swing away from someone. So it's just execution and how relaxed you are in these 18 holes. But I firmly believe he can do something today, and I'll stand by that.
So another look at our leaderboard to the right there. Carrera on 14 under, Bautista 13 under, MJ Vulun 12 under, Trevor Fisher Jr. 9 under. He played with Robson yesterday. Unfortunately, he bettered Robson's level par yesterday by 4 shots. They started on 5 under, and Trevor Fisher Jr. shot 4 under. Trevor Fisher has played well throughout the years, but 3 or so years back, he had a disaster on number 17.
Yeah.
Those trees, they have now been cut down. In your playing experience, was it looking any different, or it was still as tough? Also, given that the number 17 green was replaced last year.
Yeah, I just think the trees were not much of an issue because at the end of the day, you're playing for the fairway. So the big issue on 17 this week is the green. I don't think many people are used to it, and it's a very big difference shifting 17 greens to different grass on one green. So it's just about precision and taking your time and really looking at the green and seeing what's going to happen, and you have to make a decision to see if you are going to hit a good shot, obviously. But Trevor Fisher Jr. has always been South Africa's hometown favorite here. I remember watching him when I was probably 9 years old. And he was 17 under at some point. I think it was through 3 rounds in 2017 or 2016 or some time ago. But yeah, I watched him play the last couple stretches of holes yesterday, and he just looked so calm. And I think that's what put in a good round for him. He was calm and cool under pressure.
Do you think... take us through the thought process, scar tissue. Do you think it's mental scar tissue? In golf, do you think the ability to forget is better than the inability to remember? Why I'm bringing that up is if you have had a bad wall, it has cost you a tournament. When you come and play it, do you relive the past, or you are better off completely forgetting about it?
I'd love to say you should forget about it and restart. Every single day is a new day. You never know what can happen. Yeah, I personally this week, I made a 9 on one hole and I made a birdie the next day. That's where your repetitions come in play. You just try and forget and just put the best swing that you can. Obviously, you're going to be a bit more cautious on the hole because you know the damage that it can do, but I am a very firm believer in experiencing something and learning and improving on it. So, yeah, I do believe forgetting about it the next day and just starting afresh is really good for the mind.
Okay, that's great wisdom from one so young. Perhaps maybe that is a sign that we perhaps may see you in the future holding on to the trophy here, because year in, year out, we keep hoping for a Zimbabwean champion, and ever since Nick Price stopped coming, we've had a few players coming close in the top tens. I think last year, your former schoolmate, the junior Vincent, Kieran Vincent, he came third. Unfortunately, this year, both Vincent brothers, Kieran and Scott, who have been amateur champions in Zimbabwe, couldn't make it back home, which is why maybe attention has now gone solely onto Chinoi and the 6 others.
Yeah, I love believing the fact that every time you get a Zimbabwean in the field, it's always a chance to win. Never try and doubt yourself. If you're in the field, you definitely have a chance, better than any other player. Just wanted to find out from you, who do you think's going to take it home today?
Well, I'll play it safe and say one of the players. Well, I mean, on a serious note, Louis Carrera looks good and steady. He's played a lot of golf in his life. He's one of the, people we have had the good fortune of playing in the college circuit in America. I believe he was in Central Florida University or thereabouts. Played competitively for 4 years. So hasn't broken through, but as you know, if you play junior golf and college golf, you get used to the competition. And really, he has acquitted himself rather well. And it also helps that even though he's just a shot ahead of the next competitor, he doesn't have too many guys within 5 shots of the lead. So a bit of separation does help because if you do have a bunched up leaderboard, you'll find that maybe some of the guys in the maybe were number 10 or thereabouts in the top 10 will only be a shot or two away, and one can get aggressive and get away with it. So for now, I think I'll go with the 3rd round leader, Luis Carrera.
And that brings me to my next question for you. Would you rather prefer the leader defending or seeing someone from the leaderboard chase? Do you think it's easier to win chasing or defending?
Well, it's more interesting when somebody goes for it and pulls it off. But of course, historically, when you look at one of the greatest golfers in time, Tiger Woods, I think he only lost in a major when he was leading to Wei Yang. That's 10, 15 years ago, only once out of 15 or so attempts. What Tiger would do is once he had the lead, he was all fairways and greens and then try and make the longer putts. So you would think the strategy that has been tried and tested is where once you've got the lead, you sort of defend. You play conservatively and then you get aggressive with the putter. But again, with this game, it happened the year that Trevor Fisher Jr. lost in a playoff. Somebody in the middle of the field decided to go and shoot 64. So by the time Trevor was playing the last holes, he was under a bit more pressure. So I think the person who's chasing plays with better freedom, and it makes for a spectacle in terms of golf if they can pull it off. You remember now he's getting a bit old, but I'm sure you grew up watching him. Phil Mickelson, he would have all sorts of shots, and that's what probably cost him the career Grand Slam. He has never won the US Open. Yeah. It's perhaps because the US Open itself is golf's test of endurance, and when you've got that mentality that you want to go after every pin, hit a spectacular shot, you don't really win. So I think watching people chase and go after every pin is exciting, makes for good TV, but I want to think if you get to be more conservative with the lead, then you are likely to get better results.
100%. I also feel like on this course, if you are conservative and you just play it safe, most of the times there are a few holes that you can attack, but then there are just some holes that you must respect in order for you to get a good round in. On the back nine, there's just a few holes. I'd probably say 12 is your good attack hole if you hit it good off the tee shot. In the fairway, it's a very reachable par 5. And there's just a few holes on this course that you just do need to give respect to and put your hands down and take a 4 and go.
Talking of interesting holes, number 8, I think for the pros, is playing just over 300 meters. With such hard greens, do you think the people who have been going for the green with the driver have done better than those who have been laying up?
So to be completely honest with you, like I said, it's all about what time you play in the day. I would like to see the afternoon field get a bit warmer. The temperature's a bit warmer. You don't necessarily have to hit a driver, even though it's the same distance you would hit it in the morning. But 3-wood could be a good play, even just for one of the bunkers, because sometimes the bunker is just good. You take you up and down, get a 3. And if you do stay on the green, you want to leave yourself with a good putt. I mean, the pin position on number 8 today is 16 meters on the green. So I would necessarily say go for it, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, you do need luck, and hopefully the skill will also be, enough for you to benefit the luck. Because sometimes if you just rely on luck without skill, it doesn't take you very, very far.
And I feel the beautiful thing about this game is there's 60 guys today, and they're all going to approach this hole that we're talking about in 60 different ways, whereby some guys will go forward and some guys will just lay it up and take a 100-meter shot, and that's just playing to your strengths, which I feel is a very important thing to do on this last day.
To the right of our screen's viewers, that pin placement on number 9, proving that even the short ones can be problematic. Matipa, your thoughts on take us through your thoughts on the short holes on Royal Harare. As professionals, you play the full length of those short holes. Which ones do you think are perhaps a bit, we can't really say easier, but which ones would the pros be more comfortable on? And which ones do you think are a disaster waiting to happen today?
Yeah, so today I'd like to say all par 3s are actually going to be very difficult to play. We've got number 3, which is usually just that hole that you're just, number 2, where you just start off and just try and get your momentum going off your second hole and just go for the middle of the green. But today it's 4 off the left. If you get a bit too aggressive and pull it a little bit, that's off the green into the bunker, and you're very short-sighted. We've got number 5 as well, which is 15 on the left side, which is a decent pin position. Definitely wouldn't want to have it on the right side because that just brings so many things into play, but it also just depends with the wind swirling up later on today. Hopefully it's gracious to our players. And we've got 11, which is 9 on, 5 from the right side of the green. So it's a good hole for someone that hits it straight or prefers to hit it fade, because you've got the whole green to work with on the left side as well, if you don't want to attack it. And 15 has always been a very hard hole. We call it my fafi here at Royal. It's a hole that can punish you if you don't respect it enough. So yeah, in the mornings it's very hard to play 15 because there's always this right to left wind that you don't actually feel, but it is there after you've hit the ball. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these guys play these holes today. Obviously, as we've been speaking, we've been talking about some guys that are going to go for shots and try and pull them off. So I'd really love to see some guys pull them off and hopefully come out with a hole-in-one today, someone.
The first players have now finished their rounds. When Denzel and John Knox from South Africa and England respectively teed off at 6:35 in the morning. They finished the rounds, but for the benefit of our viewers, Wayne had a bit of a dramatic back 9 on number 10, which is just the wall that is adjacent to our broadcasting station here. He made a 7. Pad 10, he made a 7, 3 over par on number 10. Pad 11, pad 12, birdie 13, par 14, double on 15, my fafi, par 16, birdie 17 and 18. When you have a card like this, Matipa, would you rather finish strong like he did, where you finish your tournament with 2 birdies in a row, knowing fully well that disaster happened somewhere in the middle of the park, or you'd rather play well most of the round, and then if things were to go wrong, they go wrong as you are finishing?
I mean, I love believing. So he's finished 77 today, which is 5 over par. I always believe that 5 over par is better than 6 over par. Um, so obviously, you know, you have bad holes. That's always going to happen to anyone, but it's just the way you recover about it. That also changes your attitude towards future events. You know, there can be days like this on the first day where you're now trying to fight to make the cut. Um, so it's always just great to see a scorecard like this where he didn't stop fighting. And I feel like that's great of him. Yes, he didn't have the best of days, maybe a few unlucky bounces or holes in general, but the way he fought back looks pretty good. Always 77's better than 78.
Going through his 72-hole record, my Fafi had him again. He made a triple yesterday, and another unfortunate hole, number 16, he made a 10. How do you bounce back? You did mention some misadventure on, I believe it was number 7, on day 1 on Thursday. What is the thinking there? Does your kid then become a psychologist? Do you complete? How do you deal with mid-round disasters like this, Matiba?
I've always felt like the caddy is more important than the player, because at the end of the day, yes, you're the one who's hitting the ball, but you need to have someone that's going to put you in the right mindset to hit the good shots. I mean, I got a 9, unfortunate on hole number 7, but my caddy just picked me up and told me it's not over. We're still in this. There's still 2 more holes to go, and yeah, I did recover decently, but it's always a bummer, especially if you're having a good day, to have misfortune like that. But golf is a game of numbers. There's always recovery, and you can definitely recover. Making a 10 off 16 is not unheard of. I've heard of bigger scores on that hole, and especially off the back tees. It's just one of those unfortunate ones, but it's just about how you recover. And the fact that he got up today and decided to come back and play the last day just shows that he won the battle inside his head, which is pretty good. And yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's good to see that he came to work today.
To the left of our screens, Mr. Chipato there, one of the royal staff attending to the flag. I believe that's the third group out, now finishing on number 18. That's Jake Hawksby and Keegan McLachlan. Coming in on number 9 to the right of our split screen, I believe that is Nyasha Muyambo playing with Eastern Conradi. Let's see how they teed off at 8:46. Let's see what they can come up with there on number 9.
Yeah, it's just really great to see Nyasha in the field this weekend. He's just one of those guys that loves helping people. He's just a great human being and an excellent golfer. So he hasn't had the best of starts today. I think he's 5 over through his 9 holes that he's going through now. So hopefully he gets a recovery. Looks like he's on the green for 2. He's got a good look for birdie on a green that he knows. So let's cross our fingers and hope he gets it in.
There's a bit of a bump there on the, well, you can't really call it a hump. From where they are putting there, you're going downhill, but it does break a lot from the left, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you were coaching Nyasha again, you are the analyst here. What would you do? Perhaps you've dropped 5 shots and you get an opportunity like this. Do you get a bit more aggressive, or you just compose yourself and let things happen? If they don't, you remain at 5 under. It's still a good week. I mean, making top 60 and ties is an achievement on itself.
Yeah, 100%. If I was on his bag or his coach right now, I'd just tell him not to focus on getting the ball in the hole. I'd tell him to focus on just hitting a good putt, because often or not, we all practice hitting good putts, and sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. It's just about how you hit the ball. This putt, I would like to say, is not your average makeable range, so it's not something that he should be too upset about if it doesn't roll in, but just putting in a good roll here is going to be crucial for the next 9 holes of his. Looks like he's left it a bit short.
Gave it a bit more respect than he deserved, but he still has it. He's still going a bit uphill now. I would think maybe inside to the left. Do you think his playing partner has learnt much from that?
Yeah, I think he's seen that you should actually just leave it past the hole. I was actually asking this question at the beginning of the week to all the players that I'm friends with. I just wanted to find out, like, is it better to leave the ball past the hole or before it?
So let's see whether Conrad has learnt anything. They're still breaking from the left. I would say maybe a cup or so, a left to the right, going right. At its end, it's really an uphill putt, so he can afford to be a bit more aggressive than what Nyasha was. Broke a lot more than the player had anticipated, so I think he taps in for par there. Not wasting much time. The new rules, they say you know, whoever is ready, you can tap and play. In the past, there used to be a lot of fuss to say, even if you had a little one, a little putt, if it wasn't your turn to play, you allow whoever is furthest to play. Do you think that has made a difference in pace of play?
It does. There's quite a few players out there that actually prefer playing fast. So if you are ready to go, it's just good, and it also promotes pace of play, because that's probably been an issue. I've seen the PGA Tour have started introducing rangefinders as yardage on the Corn Ferry Tour, which I think was a great initiative. Oh, what a putt there by Nyasha, good save. I feel like pace of play is always really a touch and go scenario, whereby some guys love playing quick, some guys don't, and it often affects your game sometimes if you're slowed down or if you're rushed. So if you're ready, just go for it. And I think it's good that they've introduced that.
Playing behind Nyasha Miyambo, another of our local players, Tonderai Masunga, grew up playing at Wingate Golf Club next to close to Borodale, but now I think he's playing his most of his golf at the Brook Golf Club in the Borodale Brook Golf Estate. Did very well. He made the cut on the number. He had he had a good round going on Friday, but he managed to hang in there. Let's see what he does today. But all in all, I think the guys who made their cut, the cut have acquitted themselves. I don't know your thoughts. Were you expecting more guys to make the cut? Were you expecting much lower scores? What are your thoughts?
I'd like to say, from the naked eye, being specifically to spectators, I think they would have wanted lower numbers, but as well, being a player for me this week, I just feel like the course and the numbers are actually aligning with each other. This course this week is really just about mitigating and trying to reduce your bogeys, doubles, and bigger scores. Like I said, the guys who have looked after the course have done a brilliant job. So the track is not the easiest. So I just think making those low numbers is not impossible, but you're trying to actually just make good scores on each hole. Take it from there.
To the left of our screens, viewers, we've got the long-time professional at Royal Harare, Ryan Cairns, finishing his round there. He was the leading Zimbabwean after day 2, but things didn't go according to plan in the last 2 rounds. Do you think perhaps maybe the pressure of being the leading Zimbabwe gone to him, or maybe it's just the court?
No, not really. I believe Kenzie has been in this position multiple times for him to actually feel pressure. I do just believe there were just some unlucky shots that happened yesterday, and that's life. It happens like that. But I do believe he's had the experience over the years to know how to operate in these situations. And the fact that he's seen the weekend is pretty good. He's got a lot going on for himself at the moment, so it's just great to see him playing good golf.
Tricky downhill there. I would say perhaps maybe just right edge. It breaks from his right to the left, isn't it?
Right roll. He's always been a good putter of the ball. He's doing a good job with the Warren Hills Golf Club. Yeah, I've seen that there's been some big developments thanks to him, and yeah, it's pretty good to see what he's doing for Zimbabwean golf.
Oh, both players making a decent pass there. So that is the end of the Zimbabwe Open for Ryan Cairns, one of the 7 Zimbabwean professionals who made the cut into the weekend. So all in all, we didn't do too badly as a nation. Remember, we've got just under 100 professionals registered with the Zimbabwe Professional Golfers Association, and we probably have just 5 or 6 who have managed to crack it onto the Sunshine Tour this year. What do you think the best route would be for locally based professionals to try and, get to the top of the world? Should they focus on their games here, or perhaps focus more on the Sunshine Tour? Your thoughts there?
I believe just giving yourself a chance is always the most important thing. Working from home in Zim is good. There's always just great facilities to hone your skills. But giving yourself chances outside, getting exposure, seeing how things are done in other countries is also just good, because it's just good to put in your toolbox of learning, I guess. So we've got, I think, like you said, 6 guys that are playing on the Sunshine Tour now. Obviously, 2 of them being Stuart Krog and Robson Chinoy, who are playing this weekend. They've obviously showcased their talent and gone and gotten a card on the Sunshine Tour, which is amazing. And you can just see the way they carry themselves now, having that exposure to the tour and seeing how things are done elsewhere to bring back to Zim and play tournaments here.
Well, I suppose to the left viewers of our screens is Tonderai Masunga showing us that perhaps he disagrees with Matipa in principle. Tonde plays all of his golf in Zimbabwe. Started early, used to be on the Zimbabwean team, and he's not been playing in South Africa, but he's throwing punches there. That was quite an aggressive putt there on hole number 9. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, or to learn the trade.
100%. I just also feel like it's who's hungrier. at the end of the day. I mean, some guys from Zimbabwe here that can't, well, don't have the playing rights to play on the Sunshine Tour can still come out and win because they're hungrier, and I'm for that. I love seeing that. Tonde is just great. He's a great guy. He's always hungry and he's always wanting to improve and learn. So yeah, it's just great to see what these guys are doing for us in this country.
Tonde Masunga lent his golf at Wingate Golf Club next to Heathcliff there. Now playing most of his golf as a professional in the Brook.
Good save there.
So onwards and upwards, they now move to hole number 10. A couple of groups behind him, we should be seeing Stuart Krog, and behind him as well as Visitor Mapkanya there. You were talking about Stuart Krog. I don't know whether you are aware. His elder brother, Brett Krog, is now, I believe, managing the Vincent Brothers. Used to be a good golfer himself, a very good one, a bit temperamental, went to play college golf in America and didn't continue the route. What would you make of that? In terms of temperament, do you think you need to be a bit more even keeled, or you need fire in the belly?
100% fire in the belly. This game can humble you. It can make you contemplate some things, and it's just about hunger. It's about wanting to go out the next day and beat yourself. Yes, you're right. Brett is managing the Vincent Brothers, I think, with Neverest Management, I believe. And yeah, it's just about hunger, but it's great to see that he's still trying to help out around the game.
Right. On our screen, on 18, Luke Brown and Brandon Meads, and behind them we should be seeing one of Zimbabwe's own 7 competitors still in the competition. Shahid Mahmed is playing with Reese West. We've seen that part before.
Great save.
Looks like everybody is missing their first parts just behind the wall. We haven't seen anybody leaving it short there, isn't it? Why is it that sometimes the professionals, if they are tricked by a certain putting line, you all get it the same?
Look, I mean, putting is art, like we've said. So I do believe some guys prefer to leave it past the hole so you can get a read as to what's actually going on from that line where you're coming from. And we've just got Tonde's tee shot there. Looks pretty good, looks confident over it. Yeah, so I just feel like sometimes if you leave it past the hole, you've got an actual read of what's coming back down if it doesn't go in.
So Tonde had the honors there, playing with Rupert Kaminsky, one of the guys who sometimes contend on the Sunshine Tour, and Tonde not showing any signs of nerves there, showing that even the local boys can also do it given the opportunity.
Very clean 9 holes there by Tonde. We can see that he's walking with conviction and confidence and swagger. He's got a bogey-free first 9, making birdies on hole number 4 and number 5, the par 4, hardest hole on the golf course during the year, except for this ZIM Open, and the par 3 5th. We've got Nyasha Muyambo here on the 10th. He's left himself over the green on the left side. Looks like he wants to play bump and run almost into the slope and just feed it up. He is a bit short-sighted. to be honest, that could be as good as it can get from there. It's very hard to judge with these greens how far over the ball's going to roll. As long as you're just on the dance floor, you're giving yourself a putt.
But then when you see the pin placements as you go for your second shot, even if you are not too sure, would it not be wiser to perhaps maybe, play for the front of the green?
Yeah, 100%. I do believe that's the case, but there is some Sunday scaries whereby, like we've been talking, you want to chase, you want to try and get yourself up that leaderboard at all costs, and sometimes it does cost you a lot, leaving yourself short-sighted, but yeah, it's just giving yourself chances to make good scores and good shots, hit good shots. Sometimes you just can't pull them off, but it's about how you recover from it.
Nyasha's playing partner there, Islan Conradi. Probably saw what Nyasha's ball did with his pitch coming down. I believe that breaks a little bit from his left to the right and is putting uphill, so he can afford to be a bit more aggressive. Let's see whether he has learnt anything from Nyasha Muyambo's pitch as it came down.
That's a brilliant putt there.
As you can see, from hole to hole, things can change. Nyasha lying 3 now. He's got that putt to try and save par on what is statistically the toughest hole for the professionals on ZIM Open Week, as far as memory can go. Just messed up. So unfortunately, Nyasha drops a shot there. Still 7 more holes to improve on his score. A 5 on 10 is not exactly a disaster, but if you do make a 3 there, you've probably, gained a shot and a bit on the field. That is our view of the finishing hole, the 18th hole. We are now expecting Reese West and Shahid Mahmed to be in that group, but it looks like that's quite some distance from the hole there.
Yeah, it just looks like it's just about inside 150. Obviously the pin today is playing back, 5 to the right. So it's just a good 9-iron, I reckon, wedge in probably. Depends how you want to play the hole. If you want to be aggressive or conservative, just go for the middle of the green.
Yeah, it looks like Tonde had hit a decent drive on number 10, and he had a clear route to the green there. His playing partner, Rupert Kaminski, coming in from the rough. That pin placement's not an easy one. Well, he will have an interesting putt. As you can see now, does that stay on the green?
Looks like it's getting a bit closer to the hole. It's just very hard to judge these greens, especially out of the rough, if it's going to spin or just jump and play like a cricket pitch, kind of.
Yeah, but that was probably more the slope than the spin. You didn't get too many balls spinning this week. The greens were quite hard because we didn't get any rain, isn't it?
The 13th hole definitely spun on Friday. I had the great pleasure of playing with Hayden Griffiths and Madaliso Mtia. And we all expected our balls to bounce hard as they did on the Thursday, and Friday morning they just spun. And it was just really funny for all of us because we just didn't expect it. It was very unpredictable, and we just had a good laugh about it because sometimes if you don't laugh it off, yeah, you could pull your hair out.
Yeah, that's another look at number 18, the finishing par 4. Tree trouble there from right from the tee and close to the green all the way there. So I think that's another look. That's a look at number 9. We've seen this putt before, putting uphill. A subtle back, I would say perhaps right edge.
That's a great roll. Brilliant putt there.
Tonde Masunga, we saw his second shot coming up on number 10. Left it below the wall. But that's a decent 15-20 meters.
Yep, Jeff, definitely a good spot to miss it in. You've got a bit more green to work with.
Did he... Oh, it looks like... is he holding a putter? Let's see what he's got there.
He's got a wedge in hand there.
Oh, he missed it to the right. The opposite of where Nyasha in the group ahead had missed it.
Yeah, just about 40 minutes until our leaders teed off for the last day. How do you think the players are feeling?
Well, nervous. Fortunately, because we've got the practice putting greens and the warming up range. You know, they continue loosening up, hitting balls and whatever. But mentally, you have to be feeling nervous because, as they say, most of golf is played in the head.
Yeah, 100%.
And depending on people's dispositions, some people don't sleep very well when they have the lead. Tonde hits a nice pitch shot there.
A brilliant shot there.
Is it gonna stop?
Great look uphill for par there for Tonde.
But that was risky. He could easily have a few more rolls and he's off the green, isn't it?
100%, definitely.
Yeah.
We've got our first and second position in Louis Carrera and Austin Bautista chasing their first Sunshine Tour wins.
Well, in a few minutes we will have the man responsible for the difficult course, Ian Matherstone, General Manager of Royal Harare Golf Club, will be joining us shortly. A good player in his own right. Perhaps he will tell us what he did and why he did to try and protect his course reputation. Ian, welcome to our broadcast. The guys are really having fun on the course. Do you think so?
Morning, Pascal. Thank you for inviting me in. Yeah, we've tried to set up a golf course to a world-class standard, and I think we've done that. The putting surfaces are very true, so picking a line is obviously key in making sure you get that putt in the hole. And I think we've definitely got a very good tournament on, and there's a nice bunch of guys all at the top hoping to take the coveted title.
For the benefit of our viewers, Ian is really a good player in his own right. who, if he had decided to take that route, I think he could be competing with these youngsters. But you have won a few competitions here, playing with the members and the amateurs. What is really the trick to winning competitions at Royal, generally speaking?
So for me, the big thing is Royals greens are not by world standards are not big greens. The trick about Royal is being accurate, making sure you get your tee shots in play on the fairway and in right position. If you are off position, so missing fairways, you are really starting to struggle to get on. The front nine is a little more forgiving in that the greens are a lot of the greens are level with the level with the fairways, but when you get to the back nine, the greens are now elevated and you have some extremely difficult shots. So if you miss a green, you now got to get up and down, and it makes it very difficult to get up and down. But yeah, and my time at Royal and the couple of competitions that I won, the major concern is getting onto the playing surfaces. And a couple of pros have asked me, what do I think? And I said, because the greens are narrow at the front and hidden and well guarded by bunkers, it would be better to go for the middle of the green, so be slightly long on some of the holes, get it on the putting surfaces, and it gives you a chance of making birdies, which is exactly what this game is all about. So. And these putting surfaces, they're not big undulations. They're very small undulations in the green, which make it very difficult to read, but make it interesting. So, and make it very difficult to play on.
Ian, we see these good surfaces, the greens, the fairways, even the rough. A little unknown, but important fact is you only close on Christmas Day. What does it take to keep the course going, playable for the members, playable for competitions throughout the year, when you can never... There's no winter here, we've closed for maintenance. You have to keep everything going on the run. What does it really take to do that?
So Royals team is not big by any standards, and we have a great team who are committed in making sure that members and or tournaments are well looked after. We spend a lot of time in the year planning when we're going to do maintenance or treatments, i.e. your spring treatment, autumn treatment, albeit we don't have spring or autumn in this country, but we plan around that. We also then look at our national calendar, provincial calendar, and try and work out when our peak seasons are and when our low seasons are, and try and work our maintenance into that. So currently Royal is one of the busier courses in the country. It does have the biggest membership, and rounds of golf at the end of last year, or at the close of last year, we were just over 40,000 rounds of golf, which makes it extremely difficult and extremely busy. And it puts a lot of pressure on the golf course. So any sports facility that is growing turf, which has a lot of traffic across it, you suddenly see a lot of wear and tear. So we spend a lot of time on maintenance, trying to make sure that the members are looked after as best as possible, and taking it forward. And we didn't have any closure time before this tournament started, so we literally went from a competition on Saturday afternoon for members straight into pre-qualifying on the Sunday morning. So there hasn't been a downtime of any sort to get the course in pristine condition. But I commend my team that I work with. I think they have done an outstanding job and presented a fantastic course.
There has been an innovation at Royal in the last few years, the par 3 course. A lot of, I believe it's similar to the concept in cricket, where cricket originally started as a week-long game and it was very boring. I think take us through what you have done with this new concept. I believe nobody else has something like that in Zimbabwe, the par 3 course.
So the par 3 links course, as it's known, was an idea that came about a couple of years ago, and through Ryan Cairns, who's playing, I think just finished about half an hour ago, we try to work on how we can develop golf and grow golf. And we then got Peter Makovich involved, and he said, "Oh, I can help try and design something for you." So really, it's about growing golf. For those that play golf, it is a fantastic opportunity to work on your short game. The longest hole is just over 80 meters, and the shortest hole is just over 40 meters. And it is a really good test of golf, particularly on the short game. I know that you spend a lot of time on there as well, practicing your short game. But it's also an opportunity to teach people about golf, and we think it's a great opportunity to do team building sessions there for companies, birthday parties, bachelor's parties we've had there, or just companies wanting to celebrate their achievements through the year. So we've also had a strategic planning event there where a company came down and did a strategic planning. So it's very versatile. It doesn't mean you have to play golf to be able to use it. It is very forgiving, and any person, young and old, can actually come and use the facility.
Also, another feature of Royal Harare, which was brought up a few years ago, equipment is a big factor, accessibility of equipment. Your arrangement with the brand, the Pro Shop in South Africa. Please take us through what have you done, what do they have to offer us at Royal Harare?
So the Pro Shop at Royal is a franchise, which is out of South Africa. So the Pro Shop, there are a number of Pro Shops in South Africa called the Pro Shop, and so again through Ryan Cairns, Terry Cairns, Mr. Carlisle and Stuart Carlisle, they teamed up to bring that brand into Harare and set it up, and I think it's been great for golf and bringing in a latest equipment and just really bringing quality products to the country to make sure that our players have the best opportunity of getting the right equipment to be able to use. So from apparel to playing equipment, so shirts, caps, gloves, shoes, and then onto your golf clubs, drivers, pitching wedges, all that kind of stuff, putters, golf bags, trolleys. They have really brought that in and brought a quality with them.
I'm sure our viewers have seen the action, the turns, the activity. Well, a lot of these things, some of these things are going away with the ZIM Open, but afterwards, Ian and his team will still be open. What words would you want to, say to those of us who may then want to visit in person and perhaps join Royal Harare?
So I think for me, the bringing the ZIM Open to fruition in 2010, or resuscitating it in 2010, was fantastic. And Royal having the ability to host it for the last 13 years, bar the 2 years of COVID, I think has been fantastic for the country. It's helped grow golf. It's brought about an excitement in growing the game of golf. And I think going forward, for me, the big thing is to try and grow golf in the entire country. I look forward to seeing what what ZIM can offer in due course, and I hope that one day soon we have a aspiring youngster that comes through that will eventually take on and win the ZIM Open. But yeah, it's fantastic to see the field growing, to see the quality of golf also getting better, to see the quality of the players really up in the game, and it's nice to see this happen. We literally open the golf course to members and visitors again tomorrow. Our tee sheet for tomorrow morning is already full, and guys are coming to their skills on the golf course tomorrow morning to see how tough this golf course is and what the pros are up to and how difficult it is. So yeah, we don't have downtime. We also have club championships on next weekend. So already we've got a member entry for our club championships next weekend on 200 players. So we've got to work out how we're going to get those players through the golf course. So it may for us is an extremely busy season in the year, and it's fantastic to see young and old keen to play golf and keen to enjoy the facilities.
Talking of which, how fast are the greens today on the stimp meter?
So I think just to give the viewers a bit of education on the stimp meter, because people think it's measured by speed. So stimp meter is actually measured by distance. So the further the ball rolls, you have a stimp meter object tool that you use. It's a 3-foot plank that you use, and you roll a ball across the green. So when it hits the where it touches the grass, from where it touches the grass to where it stops rolling, you measure that distance. So it's not how fast it rolls, it's how long it rolls. So the further it rolls, the quicker the putting surface. So today we've set up the course from Sunday. We've had the putting surfaces rolling at between 11.5 and 12.5 feet. So today we have the greens running at 12.5. The other area that has also made the greens quite tricky is that you will notice the guys hitting longer irons in. The ball is actually bouncing before it comes stop. That also makes it quite difficult. As I said earlier, with a fairly small putting surface, when the ball bounces, and if it's near to the edges of the greens, it'll then bounce off the green, down the embankment, or into a bunker, and leave a very tricky shot back in again. And if you get the wrong side of the hole with a fast putting surface, these then become extremely difficult to run. So an average golfer at an average golf course in Harare today will have a putting surface of about 6, maybe at best. So to have a putting surface of 12 for all those that are golfers will understand that this is now twice as quick as what you're normally putting at. Hence you'll see the professional hitting his putting stroke very softly, trying to manage that pace, because the harder you hit it, obviously the further it's going to go. So it makes it tough.
Just out of interest, what do you think an 18 handicapper would shoot under these conditions? 18 handicappers, ordinarily you're saying 90 is a good score, but under these conditions, what do you think they would shoot?
So today, playing off the current tee markers, I'd hazard a guess, but an 18 capper, if he or she were playing, I guess they would be happy if they played inside 100.
I would agree with you. So on behalf of the pros, we would kindly request you to perhaps give us the same speed tomorrow morning so that the amateurs can remain humble. Because I know I've spoken to a few throughout the week. They're like, oh, these people are missing the greens. They are missing parts. Perhaps maybe just to give them correct perspective, just leave them at around 11 or 12 and a half if possible tomorrow, and then we can have conversations with them.
No, sure. These putting surfaces as we go into winter will obviously will stay fairly firm, and the putting surfaces will still stay fairly quick. So yeah, our club champs, I'm going to have to polish up on my addition, because I think there are going to be some big scores for club championships.
Thank you very much, Ian. Viewers, this was Ian Matherstone, General Manager of Royal Harare Golf Club. If you didn't get it, the invitation is out there. Please come in and meet his team, have a look at the facility, and perhaps see whether you can take up some of the memberships. They've got memberships for everyone, juniors, ladies, seniors, and so forth. So those who don't know the directions, we are just on 5th Street Extension after Josiah Tongogara, between 2nd Street and 5th Street, next to State House grounds. So very welcoming people to Royal. As you have heard before, there's also the pro shop where you can come and buy your equipment. We do have a few bars, even though we are a golf club. There's also the practice range where you can meet some of the professionals who teach there. Our golf director, Simon Murungweni, and other pros would be there to give you tips and lessons on the game. In a few weeks' time, as we said, if you also want to witness another competition, Royal Harare will be having their club championships. We try and see who's the top amateur golfer in the year. Please come and watch Ian and other good golfers battling against their course. Thank you very much, Ian. Later on, we'll see whether we can drag you in to come and give us commentary as we reach the end of the tournament.
Thank you, Pascal. And yeah, to all those viewers, get down and come and watch the golf this afternoon. I think it's going to be extremely exciting, but don't be late. I think play will probably conclude around 3:30, 3:45. So if you are having an afternoon rest, come down early. Thank you.
Matipa, welcome back. Viewers, the players keep coming in. We haven't had fantastic scores. I'm sure the course record is still intact. That is our view of the 18th hole, where we have just had Pierre Velanix from France and Luc Gelling from the Republic of South Africa finishing up. The next group behind them is the group that, the pairing that teed off at 07:52 hours, Christian Beck from South Africa, and the winner from 2 years ago, Neil Skittikat. Matipa, that leaderboard, no movement so far. Nobody has come from the early groups to try and join the top 10. As you can see, the top 7 players haven't teed off, but we're getting closer and closer. I believe the Martin Rower and Frederick Form should be on the first hole now. Yep. So do you think now maybe the fireworks will start?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready. I do believe the top 10 may see a winner coming out of that. We've got Stu Krog here on 10. Looks like a promising swing with conviction. Hopefully down the middle for him. I do feel like the top 10 will produce a winner today. There's nothing much to talk about from the earlier groups today, so yeah.
Hole number 10, a few meters from where we're broadcasting from, courtesy of ZBC TV. In case you are just joining us, in the commentary box, my name is Pascal Mandeya, and I am with fellow professional Matipa Paspano, who participated in the Zimbabwe Open and is watching some of his fellow competitors struggle with what he struggled with a few days ago, and is here to give us insights into the game, today's play, and other nuggets of wisdom for those of us who perhaps want to take up the game for a living. To the left of our screen, that is well, on the left screen to the left, that's Stuart Krog in there for a good finish in the ZIM Open. Played most of his golf in Zimbabwe at Chapman Golf Club as a junior, which is 7-8 kilometers from here, but currently also playing on the Sunshine Tour and meeting a bit of success. He's not the only golfer in his generation in the Krog family. His brother Brett was also a very good junior golfer, but he has now taken over management. He's the one who's managing arguably our best golfers currently, Scott Vincent and Kieran Vincent. But unfortunately, they couldn't be with us this year due to other commitments on the Asian Tour. Last year, they came and played, and the younger Vincent brother, Kieran, played well. He was inside the top 5 and really had a shout, on the championship on the last day.
Yep, we've got a view of the 9th hole here. We've got our fellow compatriot, Visitor Mopanya, playing with Doug McGuigan, if I'm correct.
Yes, Doug McGuigan, Scotsman, senior player, enjoys coming back on the Sunshine Tour, but not really playing a very busy schedule. But he has enjoyed the tour for a few years. All right, Visitor about to pitch up to the flag. Straightforward uphill pitch. We can't say an easy shot, can we, Matipa?
Definitely not, but he's definitely just hit a very good shot. Sometimes I think we often think a good chip shot is the proximity to the hole, how close it gets, but at some stages that's just a very good shot there. 10 feet, inside 10 feet, sometimes even 15 feet, still a very good chip, depending on the situation that you're in.
Some say the whole idea behind golf is to generally leave yourself an easier shot than the one you had before, but there are no guarantees in this game. As we see Doug McGuigan lining up his putt, I would say from what we've seen so far, that one must be inside to the right. It does break from his right to the left, isn't it?
Yep, a putt that we've seen quite often, and he's just pulled it off and pulls in a really great roll with conviction. I just love seeing some of these guys, the way they stroke the ball. Not really worried about where it's going, but just making sure that the stroke is perfect, and sometimes that pays.
So now he leaves it up to Visa Mkanya from the southern part of Zimbabwe. Grew up playing his golf at Renko Mine. Used to play for the Midlands amateur team. I remember a few years back, they won the provincial tournament. He's the one who beat won in a playoff. Unfortunately, a bit of a misread there. Drops a shot. Visitor has had quite a good career. I believe he has been an inspiration to a lot of golfers. He's the one who started the trek to West Africa. You know, some of our golfers now play in the region all over across Africa. I think he has won quite a few times on the circuit in West Africa. He has also competed in Kenya. Unfortunately, because of those choices, he hasn't played too many events on the Sunshine Tour. But good to see him making the weekend and playing relatively well. Yesterday, I believe he had a 72, so didn't make progress forward or progress backwards. But he still has the back nine to rectify whatever may have happened in the front nine. So still a lot to play for Visitor Mapkwanya. Playing behind them, as we had said, so that's Stu Krog now, the right of our screens, holding his putter. So that's a good feeling, huh? When your caddy hands you a putter when you are still away from the green, Matipa.
100%. It definitely gets you in that mindset to try and now that you don't have to stress too much. Just stressing about a line and a good weight, but it could be worse. So it's definitely a good thing walking down the fairway with the putter in your hand. Take the glove, the fingers a bit of a rest.
Both players there finding the green on hole number 10. Let's see whether any of them can make a putt there. We haven't seen too many putts of significant length on number 10 there. So Ian and his team, and whoever set the course up, have presented quite a challenge for the golfers, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Very tight 10. If you just leave it a little bit past the hole with the position today, you might have to get back on by chipping. So it's just a good hole sometimes for you to just take 2 putts and go happy. We've got Stu Krog, who's just made 1 double bogey on the front side and 2 birdies following it up. And his playing partner, Kyle De Beer, who's actually made valiant ground today. He's 3 under this round, just with birdies on number 3, number 6 and number 7. Hoping to make a few more red numbers on the scorecard and give himself a chance to walk home with the beautiful Patrick Mavros trophy.
Looking at the round scores, the round 4 scores, the only person who seems to have bent the course, so to speak, in the golf vernacular is Rowan Cobb, 7 under through 15. Reese West, 5 under through 18. But also others seem to have struggled a bit. Terrible news for young Dane Moore from Zambia. He has had to retire. Spent quite a bit of time at Chapman Golf Club 10 or so years ago when he was still a young junior. So happy to see the neighbors coming to participate. We hope that him retiring is nothing significant, because from time to time, even though golf looks like it's not a very athletic sport, you do get injuries. Matipa, your thoughts on golf as a physical sport and any injuries you may have experienced in your career?
Yeah, golf is definitely very physically tolling. Walking 6 kilometers a day, turning your body multiple times. It's just good to keep as fit as you can. People have different routines. People run, people cycle, people gym. But it's just about keeping your body good for the longest amount of time. I've actually just come off an injury, and this was the first tournament that I finished around this whole year. I tore ligaments in both of my wrists over just playing too much golf over the last year, and I only had 4 weeks to prepare for this tournament, so it's very bittersweet to have played well, but I'm just very happy and blessed that I could actually finish a round golf. So yeah.
To those who are just joining us, I've got fellow pro Matipa Paspanojga in the commentary box. The young man grew up playing Royal Harare, went to school in Harare, and then went offshore. So tell us, what have been your experiences in Australia there?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm enjoying life. Studying, finishing up school, just preparing now to play full time and represent our beautiful country, and definitely make a lot of people at home happy with my career.
What is the standard of golf, if ever there's anything like that? How do they treat it the same way we treat it here? Their approach is different. Is there anything that stands out? I mean, the golf balls we play are the same, the equipment is the same. Is there anything significantly different that you noticed when you went to Australia?
Yeah, one thing that I've really picked up between the two countries is Australians love playing 18 holes over practicing and hitting 300 balls in a day, and I think that's a very good thing because it then just helps you improve on your scoring, because you're not always going to have the best ball striking day, but if you know how to score, you're still going to be okay. Um, I think the problem that we face here is we think practice makes perfect, but our sport is so imperfect, whereby the course is trying to beat you up. So you need to get into a few more fights with the course before you can actually beat it. So that's just a major point that I've picked up on the Australian side, that the guys really prefer playing over practicing more. And yeah, I'd love to see more tee sheets at Royal, longer earlier tee-off times. Um, and yeah, it's just good. We've got our Zimbabwean Challenge Tour that they play on Mondays, predominantly here and at Chapman and different courses around Harare, which I think is a good initiative because it gives you a chance to just go out and score and see what you need to work on, because on the golf course it really exposes your weaknesses at times. So it's a very different scenario where you're allowed to mess up a shot and just hit another one, but on the golf course you can't do that. It's just one and done.
Every shot counts.
Yes,
as
exactly.
We watch this part
from our 2016 winner, I think it is, Lyle Rowe.
How much do you think his experience would count in this instance? This one breaks, I believe, a couple of balls maybe from his right. Sit uphill.
Definitely a good roll, and just jumps in the back corner of the cup. What a good read. Definitely a bit of confidence going into the back nine. Hopefully trying to get a second title under his belt here in Harare.
We're getting close to the time when the leaders tee off. They should be doing so in a minute or so, according to our clocks, for the benefit of those who have just joined us. Austin Batista and Louis Carrera will be in the group. But again, right on our screens, from the winner, did you say 3 years from now, Lero, former winner, the winner from 2 years ago, New Skitty
Cat, yep.
Didn't have as great a tournament as he did 2 years ago, so experience probably doesn't count as much as it should, isn't it?
I just feel like Royal Harare does a great job every year to just improve on the year before. I can probably say that this golf course was playing a little bit harder than the previous years. Oh, that's a brilliant putt to finish off his day. We've got our defending champion, Michael Hollick, who missed the cut, which you wouldn't actually expect, but that's golf. It happens. Sometimes the course beats you up, sometimes it rewards you. He's also just come off the last Sunshine Tour win, so it's just really good to see how the course is playing, and it's very tough this year, I feel. Some big names missed the cut, and some guys that have stuck around for the weekend not really performing as best as they can. So yeah, the course is really tough this week, so big well, not appreciation for Royal, but they did a great job making the course tough.
Right, Christian Beck with a short one there. Let's see whether A good putt. So those just finishing off. Christian Beck, new skitty cuts, teed off at 07:52. So still a way to go before the final groups come on 18, and hopefully then the action would have intensified. Everything to play for everyone in the field. Please take us through for those who play for money. Is making the cut just enough of an objective, or there are other things that I play, Matipa?
Love to say yes. It's good that you're gonna get money, but I think making the cut just validates that you're fit for the job, 100%. And you know, this is the first event of the season, so it's just gonna be a good start for the players to see how far they can go into the year. And for the guys in Zimbabwe, it's just a brilliant experience to level up with African golf and see where we stand. And obviously our 7 guys that made the weekend played tremendously, and we've also got the guys that didn't make the cut who also played pretty well. Just a bit unfortunate.
So there you have it. A lot to play for every time you tee it up. 7 under is the leading score on the course for today. Matipa, are you revising your thoughts on the players? Maybe somebody shooting 1 or 6-2. I spoke too soon. The best round on the course so far is now a 6 under. I believe Ruan Cobb, who was on 7 under for the day, dropped a shot. Do you think we're going to see fireworks and something better than 6 under from the leading groups?
Well, our top 20 guys are all playing under par, except for one, and our final group is yet to come. So hopefully we see some fireworks. They're only through a couple of holes, so there's still chances. There's still chances.
Yeah, everyone on the course now. Well, every participant in the 4th round of the FBC Zimbabwe Golf Open is teed off. We can't say they are all on the course now because the groups have finished.
Yeah. Job's done for the day for some of the guys. Probably have a cold one and support their friends.
If you have I wouldn't want to call it a bad tournament, because everybody who has made the cut has probably done something reasonable. If it doesn't go according to plan, how long do you think ordinarily it will take you to shake it off?
And you see, that's the beauty about it. Mentally, that's why I said making the cut this week is very big for most of the guys that are playing the whole season, because it's just a confidence booster going into next week's event. But definitely missing the cut means you've got a bit more time to rest the legs and not walk as much, and reflect from your mistakes and see what happens. But I do believe that missing the cut is not such a key point, and it doesn't really show how good you are as a player, because weeks change. You could win, you could miss the cut. So yeah, it's just about standing up and going to fight again.
All right, there you have it, folks. One of the unique features of golf is that while the tournament is going on, more than half the field after 2 days will be asked to stop participating on the basis of their results. So we started out with 156 players on Thursday. This particular tournament is a 72-hole tournament played over 4 days. So they played 18 holes on Thursday, 18 holes on Friday, 18 holes on Saturday, and they are playing 18 holes again. The cut that we are talking about, we are saying based on the scores from Thursday and Friday, the top 60 players and anybody tied on number 60 are the ones who proceeded to play on Saturday and Sunday. In this case, we had 64 players because we had ties on number 60. So all in all, we have 64 players who then participated on Saturday and Sunday. Of those 64 players, we had 7 professionals from Zimbabwe out of an original 22. So by my own reckoning, I think we did well. Unfortunately, some of our amateurs, we had 8 amateurs, some of them juniors, teeing up with the professionals on Thursday and Friday. None of the 8 amateurs made the cut. So the trophy for best amateur competitor this year is not Tekas Matipa. Is it a sign that our juniors slagged, or maybe things got to be a bit hotter than they expected? Because we do have some good junior players, don't we?
100%. We do have a lot of talent in the country. Just this week wasn't meant to be for them. Not disregarding their skills and their abilities, and I do believe that next year they can come back with more hunger and definitely put on a show for us. I'd really love to see one of the Zimbabwean amateurs try and go for the win and grab 2 trophies next year on the Sunday.
Well, old histories. In the 80s, we used to have an amateur. He was not a junior, called Anderson Rusike. I believe he's the only amateur to have won the Zimbabwe Open. So in terms of amateurs and professionals, I think one of the big distinctions in golf is that in most other sports, once you are told amateurs, you assume that they are not proficient. But in the history of the game, globally, one of the top players in the game was Bobby Jones, the person who founded the Masters. I believe we watched it a couple of weeks ago. Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It's now just about 3 weeks ago, yep.
Yes, when Rory McIlroy won after having missed up 10 years earlier. Your thoughts on longevity? We can see in the field there we've got Doug McGuigan, I believe is now 53 or thereabouts. In the top 10, we also have Henny Otto, 49, competing with the youngsters. What does that mean in terms of longevity of careers in golf?
I honestly just feel like it's about how you look after yourself over the years. It shows that there's a 53-year-old and a 49-year-old who have clearly shown that they're still hungry and still want to get some trophies before they call it quits. But it just shows that they looked after themselves throughout their early professional careers to amateur careers, and it's definitely possible to play for a very long time. And I love the development of the senior tours now around the world. It wasn't really a big thing at some point, but yeah, it's just good to see that there is senior tours now, and these guys have the opportunities to continue doing what they love doing for a living, and coming back onto the Sunshine Tour, because I'm pretty sure all of us want to learn, and they are very wise, and they've had years of experience to teach.
To the right of our screens there, interesting putting stroke there.
By Heinrich Bruners. He works very hard. Looks like it's rolling off a little bit. He won last year on tour, and he's a grinder. He loves improving himself physically and in his golf game, and it's good to see him playing the weekend. That's a brilliant shot, putt on number 9 to the left of the screen.
in terms of local knowledge, do you think there is a huge advantage in having played the greens, or those little books you pros get provide enough information on what's going on the green?
Yeah, definitely. I think yardage books are very important for players because hitting good shots is really just about routine. And I feel like, Keegan Bradley, the Ryder Cup captain for the USA, actually said that reading his yardage book is part of his routine. So it just gives you a bit more insight. Me being a member, I've played here almost all my life. I saw the course in a complete different manner this week with the yardage book. I saw numbers, and also you're not allowed to use a rangefinder. So it's just good to see the numbers, and it's a good book to keep. I'm pretty sure there's still a few more for sale for the guys that really want to beat the pros tomorrow. So yeah, it's just very good to analyze and see where the good spots are to miss. It's a brilliant save there.
Yeah, the one down, coming down, he had gotten a bit aggressive there on number 10. Viewers, that's our flag on number 18. The finishing hole, where hopefully in 3 hours or so we will be crowning the 2025 winner of the Zimbabwe Open Championships. A little known fact is that this championship, it's not a male championship. Women are allowed to participate, isn't it?
That's right, definitely so. The Sunshine Tour does allow that for women to participate in this tournament. That looks like a very well played golf shot there. Very well thought out and very well executed. Just a few more rolls and that would have been probably the best shot of the week, I believe.
Leaving the best for last.
Yeah, that's a great way to finish it. Well played. The bunkers were very tough this week, I believe. Very sandy in some and just not too sandy in the others. But that was a great shot on the 18th there.
Well, viewers, we have the pleasure of being joined by another professional, another young professional. Tafadzwa Nyamkondiwa was part of the tournament for the first 2 days. Pro Tafadzwa, welcome to our broadcast and tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you. My name is Tafadzwa Nyamukondiwa. Obviously Zimbabwean, grew up in Harare, played most of my golf at Chapman. I grew up at Wingate though, played a bit of golf there. Moved to Chapman, played there. Was fortunate enough, I went to Prince Edward School, the first Form 1 and 2. Then I moved to Heritage School, which was nice. I got a scholarship there for golf. Played golf there. Very fortunate enough, I also got a scholarship to go to the US for golf. So, did my O-levels, just very basic. Went to college, did finance there, got done, graduated. Then I turned pro. I moved back to Zimbabwe, turned pro in September. And yeah, I've been a pro since then.
What have been your experiences so far playing as a professional? I believe you've been playing with some of these guys in South Africa. Have you learnt anything other than that now you need to play for a living?
Oh yeah. You learn a lot. It's a different scene. It's good. You rub shoulders with these guys. When you grow up, you're watching these guys play, and now we get to play with them, rubbing shoulders with them. It's definitely awesome. I've been learning a lot. Different pressure. From amateur golf. Now you gotta make money to actually survive through it, and it's good. It's good. If you do well, lucrative. It's good. It's good.
You did mention that you played college golf in America. Take us through that process. Ordinarily, we would think the demands of the academics and playing golf, even for those juniors who fall in love with the game, I want to believe there's a general belief that you can mix those two. What has been your experience?
You definitely can mix the two. It's just about finding the balance. You obviously still practice well, study well. Just you can actually go to the US with your O levels. You can just do your O levels. You don't need to pass with all A's. You can just, even if you get 5 C's, and you just play good golf still, you definitely have a great chance of getting a scholarship. And yeah, for me, it was good. It was good. Like I said, did my O levels. Then you write what they call SATs. They're just like American exams almost. That's maths and English. Did that. And then, obviously with your golf, you create a resume or a CV. And obviously in your CV, you write your golf accomplishments, you write your education, and you write a little cover letter, just basically saying who you are, saying who you are, where you grew up, what you do, golf and all that stuff, and you send it to golf colleges, to as many coaches as you can, because you're trying to give yourself the best chances possible. So you send it to as many coaches as you can, and you just wait for response. And you get all types of responses. I promise you, I got all types. Some people will tell you you're not good enough. Some schools will tell you they're full. But there's always someone who'll give you a chance. It's just about getting that chance, and you go out there and showcase yourself.
The level and nature of competition in college golf, do you play individually? Do you have teams? How many people do you have on the college team there in America?
So, with golf, it's an individual sport. But then when you go to college, you're a team. So it's a team of, when you go to tournaments, it's usually 5 or 6 guys. But a roster can have maybe 11 guys, 12 guys, just depends on the school. So, you play your individual golf. At the end of the day, out of the 5 guys, they take the best 4 scores, and they put them together. That becomes the team. But you just play your own golf, really.
And the level of coaching on the teams, I want to believe you... ordinarily, there are some people who are self-taught, who don't need a coach. But technically speaking, what has been your experience with the coaching staff out there in America?
I really want to say they're more of managers than coaches, because when I went there, they obviously run like the golf aspect of it, the organization, tournaments and all that. But the coaching side, they don't really change your swing or change much unless if you ask them to do that. But if you're comfortable with what you're doing and you just need little tweaks, they can also look at you. But they're not really entirely going to change your golf swing or going to change how you just play golf. They'll just teach you more of the mindset on the golf course, because that's very one of the most important things. So they'll teach you the mental aspect of it. They'll teach you just the course management, because that's something I feel like you need to get taught, or just keep learning of it. But yeah, when it comes to swing wise, they don't even try and change you, unless it's probably really, really, if you're really, really struggling, then maybe, but they won't change much.
In terms of the actual college tournaments per year, roughly what sort of what number are you looking at?
So you play, just depends on the school, but per year you play, let's say maybe 12 events, 13, 14, just depends. But they split them into 2. So you have the fall semester, that's usually from August throughout to maybe early December. You play maybe 6, 7, just depends with where your school is situated. And then they have the spring semester. That's the main one. That's where there's the conference championship, the national championship, and regional championship. So there they'll usually play 8 tournaments just because they want to give you more game time before you guys get to conference, because it's just about preparation really. And yeah, I mean, but remember, you still got to qualify for this tournament, because on a golf team you probably have 12 guys who are fighting for 5 spots or 6 spots. So you still got to be sharp, really sharp actually.
Thank you so much for those insights. Coming closer to home, seeing like you have seen what it is out there in America, what do you think we need to do to get our juniors involved and interested at an early age?
You know, I think obviously the first step is taking them to the golf course. Usually, I think parents, they're skeptical and scared that golf is for rich people, or you know, but really it's not. It's not. You can come out there. Like for example, I'm a perfect example of that. I don't come from a wealthy family, and my dad is not, big or rich or, but it's just, you go out to the golf course. Just it's about practice, putting in the hours, because over time, the more you work, the better you get. So yeah, I mean, I would advise parents to push their kids, take them to the golf course. Like during the holidays, you have so much time. Take them out there in the morning. They can spend the whole day there practicing, and because then you also learn from just watching other people. And I promise you, at the golf course, there'll be so many people, different people, and you just never know what opportunities your kid might have. So give it a go. Give it a go. Don't hesitate, and don't think you don't have money, or you come from a poor background family, or you don't have the resources. You just never know who you meet.
And any plans for the immediate future? For the coming year, what are your playing plans?
I'm gonna play basically as many tournaments as I can. I'll be playing in South Africa. I'm gonna try and play on the Big Easy, try and play on the Bushveld. Those are development tours to Sunshine Tour. And if there are any tournaments back here at home, I'll come and play. If there are any in West Africa, East Africa, I'm just gonna give myself as many chances as I can.
Promatipa, any curveballs you want to throw to Tafadzwe?
Yeah, definitely. Just want to find out his thinking about, obviously preparing and then just not making the cut. How do you come back from that? Not just practice-wise, like mentality, like what's your thinking for the next week going into a big event?
It's definitely mentally draining, because missing the cut, it's obviously not the ideal situation. It's very mentally draining. So yeah, I mean, you learn lessons from every golf round you play, whether it's a tournament or it's practice. So for me, for example, like after this week, took some lessons, took it hard on the chin. But yeah, it's all about preparation again, going back to the drawing board, trying to figure out what I did wrong, or what went wrong, or what I can do better, and just mainly focus on that, but also still working on the good things that I did this week. So yeah, it's just basically going back to the drawing board, looking at it again, and trying to keep getting after it.
Fantastic, I love that. Favorites for today?
I mean, obviously, I'm going with my Zimbabwean boys, Robson Chinoi, Visitor Mapwanya, Tuenderai Masunga, Nyasha Muyambo. I'm definitely hard on my Zimbabweans.
Do you think that there's a chance of getting a course record today?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You can never say no. You can never say no, but you can never say yes. It's never guaranteed. But today, my prediction, I don't think so. The course has been playing really tough. The greens are really firm. I don't know. Someone just has to go out there and be crazy for them to break the course record. I don't think so. I don't think it's happening.
Sounds good. We've got, I think it's 2-1 now. Mr. Mandea said that it's almost impossible to find this kind of 50-50, and I'm still 100% believing that someone can do it. It just takes a few lucky holes and a few putts to drop.
100% is crazy, but it's it's doable, but no, it's not happening. See, look at the guy who's putting right now. It's really,
So we've just got Dylan Mostert here on the 10th, I believe, putting for par. Tap, so just tell me, overall, how was the experience of playing your first Zimbabwean Open as a pro?
it was definitely good. It's exciting, nerve-wracking. It's home. So, you're definitely trying to do better, trying to do the best that you can, actually. There are a lot of people who are out here supporting us, picking us up. So when you're here, you're just, I almost want to say there's a bit more pressure than when you're just playing any other event, because this is home. So you're really trying to do good.
That's a great save there. Move on to the next hole. Just 8 more holes for these players. Dylan Mostert and Stel Swart, followed by Quinton Winsach and Ron Conradi.
Do you know Ron Conradi has a twin? You know that? And they both play on the Sunshine Tour.
Yes, that should be Estian, the one who's playing with Nyasha Miyambo today.
Yes. I always wonder, how many twins are on tour? Maybe not just the Sunshine Tour, but all the tours. How many sets of twins are there in total? Do you think it's more than 5?
Yes, we've got the guys from America, the Cooper brothers.
Oh yeah, Cooper Dorsey. Yeah, I know them. They just barely joined the PGA. They just graduated college, actually.
Looking like a bit of ruling on the 18th hole here.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting chip. He's chipping into the grain.
Today we've got our pin 30 up to the front, from the front, and 5 to the right, so he's kind of just a bit short-sighted, but the South Africans are very well known for soft hands and good chipping, so let's see him showcase his talent here. Would be a very good up and down if he can pull it off.
Wow.
Brilliant
That's
shot.
actually really good.
Like I was saying earlier on, that this week with the putting greens, it's not very much so how close you do get to the hole. It's about what the next shot you give yourself looks like. That was good exercise of using the fringe and just running it on.
He's a really good little, looks like a right to left part. It's going to be really fast too, because it's a bit of a downhill. What's your prediction for the winning score for the week?
Today, to be very honest with you, I do believe 19 should be the number. It's going to be really tight to either chase or defend, to be honest. So I'm going for 19. Obviously, being a bit biased by playing the course, having had played the course this week, I do believe that 19, 5, 400 today is going to be a good number, because there's just that little bit more stress and pressure. And really pulling off some shots is going to be very useful for whoever's trying to get the trophy.
I'm thinking, 19 is pretty good. I'm thinking 18, 17. Oh, that was a really good putt. Just hit the lip.
Yeah, this course is just really hard. Sometimes you just do get punished even after some decent shots. You've just got to take it and go with it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you're just joining us, welcome. My name is Matipa Paspanajka, and I'm joined with our Zimbabwean professional golfer, Tafadza Nyamkundiwa, at the 2025 FBC Zimbabwe Golf Open Championship. So we've just got Simon Duploy and Henny O'Kennedy coming onto the 18th now. What would your mindset be going into the final round, being in the top of the leaderboard?
Definitely you're excited because you're in contention, and that's always what you're hoping for and wanting, especially going to the last round. And I mean, you're going to go out there. Well, if I'm going out there, I just want to give myself chances. You don't necessarily have to attack all the pins or, do something crazy. But I think just, hitting center green, picking those other pins you want to go for, and just giving yourself as many chances as possible. And I think that's the best way I would do it. What's your take? What would you do?
Definitely just keep your routine going. Just do what you know, do what you trust. Don't get overexcited and just relax. It's either you're going to make it or break it, but if you're tense, it's more probably going to be the latter. So just relax and take it easy. You know what you're capable of, you know your abilities. Just, go through the day, have a good walk. And I also wanted to ask you, obviously being close to Robson, what would you tell him today? What do you think you could tell him to get him over the line?
Definitely enjoy, have fun out there, relax. Don't try and play against anyone. Be yourself. Be yourself. I mean, he's gonna have a lot of people watching him. Following him on the course. I would definitely tell him to calm down because he gets excited. Which is good, which is a good thing. But I would definitely tell him to just calm down and breathe. I mean, he got the game, he got the skill. So, it's good.
Yeah, I just hope he gets it over the line today for us.
The guys are walking up 18 after hitting pretty good second shots onto this hole. It's not an easy walk, especially with just how it's looking. We have a lot of supporters around, and that's not usually the case on most of the events. So this is a big deal. Such a really pleasant walk.
100%. Royal Harare is definitely the most scenic golf course. Lots of trees, wildlife, and it's just a great track. We've got the Cricket Sports Club, Harare Sports Club, right over next to us. So it's just good. Come in and know your numbers and be early. The last group is just about 5 holes in now, which we have Louis Carrera and Austin Bautista in the final grouping, followed by Trevor Fisher Jr. and MJ Vermeulen.
While the action continues, we've caught up with a surprise guest. So let's hear from Valentine as soon as they can bring up somebody else on the course.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Pascal. Welcome to the back nine of this magnificent course. That's the one that you're seeing, backdrop. And I'm certainly hoping that the viewers are enjoying the commentary as well as the action coming through from right here at Royal Harare. And right now, we speak of, the corporates that are being part of this magnificent tournament, which is part of the Sunshine Tour. That is the ZIM Open Golf Tournament. And we've got Tonga Hurlets who right now I have their head corporate affairs and industrial affairs head, that is Dr. Deleagare. Doc, it's a very good day and a pleasant day for golf today. But let's get to hear more about Tonga Hullets as well, what you do just for the benefit of our viewers who might not even know, but I'm sure it's a very popular brand.
Oh, I would be very, very unhappy if people don't know anything about Tonga Hewlett. So we are the people that make your life sweet. Our responsibility is to bring sugar to you. So we talk about the Hewlett's brand.
Indeed. Let's talk about the products and services that you offer as Tonga Hewlett, besides sweetening our lives.
No, we have to talk about sugar because that is our main product. But in addition to that, we also produce about 40,000 liters of ethanol, which is used for blending. In addition to that, we were involved in animal feed, which we had stopped temporarily, but we'll certainly be going back to that. But just perhaps for the benefit of our viewers, just to know that we are a very big corporate with huge corporate social responsibility projects. We have 2 big hospitals that we run, and in addition to that, we've got about 23 schools that we are responsible for, and a number of clinics that also are part of that. So it's a very busy hive of activity there. Oh, and perhaps I could add that we also produce electricity, which we feed into to the national grid.
Amazing stuff that you do as well. But you're participating at this edition of the FBC ZIM Open Championship. Tell us more about your participation and what you're pushing as Tonga Hewlett.
So we've been part of this for quite a long time, but since, about 4 years ago, since FBC came on board, we've been one of the anchor sponsors. It's a position that we're extremely proud of, and it's something that we intend to continue. And what we'd like to see is ourselves perhaps being the main sponsor going forward.
So they have it, the bit of fun and pump, and of course their social responsibility as well, and they can only achieve that through your support, supporting the brand. So why not sweeten your life with some Tonga Hewlett sugar as well, so that they can be able to feed the nation, fire up the nation, light up the nation, as well as educate the young ones out there. Doc, I must thank you very much for making time, and we certainly hope you'll be coming back bigger and better next year.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you very much for giving us a few minutes with you.
Thank you so much. So, Pascal, it's back to you for some more commentary as action is happening on the back nine.
Thank you so much, Valentine. Well, we Indiano sita ma translation yangu yechindevere, so now tongoita zveshona muno mustudio. Tafadzwa zvadzoka kwatiri, uri kuzviona seizvi?
Zviri kunakidza, pawachasvika pafinal stage apa mahozi ekupedzisira pachaita moto chaipo, inoti munhu wese ari kutoda.
Inumber 9, 18 kai, uona Zimbabwe flag yedu iri papo over that bunker. Kana pini iri kuright uku zvine musoro ndezvipi, hazvisi easy here kuenda kuleft uku, azvipa engo iri right here?
Apa pakaoma apa nekuti banga rinobva ratoya muroad make, saka anenge akutofanira kurowera paleft peflag. Saka paari apa kuti arowere padhuze anenge achitya kuti anozopinda mubanga, but ane shoti yakaoma.
Mabhanga eparoyal kuwanda kwaakaita, iwe une experience wakambotanga kunzo makosi ese akadaro here kana kuti ndepana pachita nenyaya yekuti hapana mvura?
Aiwa, makosi akawanda hatomborina mabhanga akawanda, so I think panapa hapana mvura, saka defense yecourse mabhanga, of which mabhanga acho ese haasi nyore cause akaita kuwanda, obva aiswa munzvimbo dzekuti ndo maanonyatsorowera imomo.
Wati iwe wakakurira kuwingate kumiti uku, maonero ako miti nemabhanga ndezvipi zviri nani?
I think miti dziri nani, nekuti miti dzinoguzisa kurowa straight, saka paunouya kumakosi anenge ane mabhanga, so iwe unenge wajaira kurowa straight, saka hazvimbopinde mueffect stereka, of which ukarera miti unokwanisa kungopancha uchienda kugreen, but ukarera mubhanga, especially flag yobva yawandiswa sezvakaita panumber 18, so hazvisi nyore kusvika kurowera padhuze kubva mubhanga.
Vakomana wakavarowera kuright uku, iyo t-shirt yepanumber 18 apa pane mupuranga wewo uri paright apo. Imi vakomana vechipuro especially vechidiki toona muchirovera ikoko, hazvisi nemuchida kuenda nepamusoro pemuti apa hazvisi zviri nani here kuuya nekuku?
I mean, maza zviri nani kuuya nepaleft pemuti apa nekuti, but then vanhu vanonge vachida kurora nepamusoro pemuti, because mukangorera kuleft kwefairway kwakazara mazimiti, saka ukapinda mumazimiti umu kuti uzorera green dzakawandisa zvisi nyore. Unokwanisa kurera ko green, but vakawanda vanonge vachida kurova nepamusoro pemupuranga kuti vanobva pakati nepakati pefairway zvinobva zvavhura green, but inini hangu ndinoda kurora nechepaleft pemuti apo mbichana.
Ko vakomana vechidiki vasati vakunyatsorova bhori rakareba vaya vaya, chero ukaiswa kumatize kumberi uku, advice yaungavapa vana vechidiki vachangotanga chakanyanyokosha chi, short game kana kuti kurova bhori rakareba?
Short game yakakosha nekuti haisi nyaya yekurova bhora, munhu wese anogona kurova bhora, saka yangova nyaya yekuti paunosvika padhuze pegreen ukapodza green achakwanisa kuseva pandiyani. Saka vasingarove bhora sevakomana vechidiki vasingarove bhora refu ndongoti chi ngavashande neshort game, vochipa sterek, vopata, vorova mabanga shots, vakapefecta iyoyo yekuti vanguziva kuti vakasvika pagreen vanenge vachiita kuti it's almost guaranteed kuti 1 or 2 parts then they're good.
Uyu kwaazorera apina mubhanga ka, but pakadai so apa because arova achibva kurafu zvanhu zvisiri nani here kuti wongotsvaga center green kana kuti waungotione kuti uri kutambira mari wongotora machansi?
But hazvina zvitori nyore kungorovera pakati pegreen usingaida kuenda flag. I mean, unenge uchitambira mari, but apa ukasaseva power unenge watoluza mari yakawanda instead of dai wangorovera pakati pegreen wakwanisa kupinza pareji yakareba hauzivi. Saka zvinenge zvitori nyore kuti dai angangorovera pakati pegreen. Muri kuona apa ane imwe futi zvipanga shoti haina kuchipa apa, izvozvo anenge ane hasha zvinenge unenge wakufila dzimwe hasha dzo dzine dziri utrada kuzvicontrola but still hazvisi nyore.
Saka atochi akutamba foka apa nti
ngationa kuti anoseva here.
pachine kanyaya kapa
vanenge akutya kuti siya futi mubhanga, saka apa anenge angorega ndingorova kuti ndibude ndozonoshanda nepata.
right, siya tione. Uchiri kuyoka pamakatamba day 1 tiri kuona gomba pane mureza apo, nasiri kwatingati kumashure kuright. Paday 1 ranga riri kupi? Uchiri kuyoka here kuti musi wechina pamakatamba gomba repanhamba 18 apa ranga rakachererwa papi?
Ranga rakachererwa kufar left, kumusoro kuleft uko, saka pawairowa pane bhanga riri pafront paleft pekuti kana uri pakati nepakati pefairway unenge uchifanira kurowera pamusoro pebhanga ipapo une chiparight kuti usazopinda kune mamwe mabhanga ari kuleft uko. Panga pasiri nyore ipapo.
Saka kuchinjaniswa kunoita makomba uku, munhu unenge uine divi rako raunofarira here zvaungati inini kana ari kudivi rekuku inini handidi, kana kuti kungotiwo zvaungoona zviripo izvo ndo zvabuda musarudzi unongoramba uchitamba matambiro ako?
Vanhu vakawanda vanoita kagame plan kavo kekunyatsoona kuti alright, inini kana maflag ari paright ndinoda kurwira paleft, asi kana ari paleft ndinofanira kurwira paright. It depends kuti unorova bhora rakaita sei. Pane vanorova ratinoti draw ndo rinobva paright richiuya nechipaleft mbichana, kozova norova fade rinenge chibva paleft chienda paright. Saka zvinenge zvakungodependa kuti iwe unorova shot yakaita sei and zvaunonzwa kuda kuita zviri comfortable ndezvipi.
Uyu atopinza i6 kai?
Apa anenge atosiya mari ipapo.
Ndo pati waari kutamba naye uye ari kukwidza zvinenge zviri nani kana uchipata uchikwidza naye?
Zviri nani.
Timboona unyanzvi hwako unoti riri kubva papi apa?
Mira nyatsoona kuti I think richabva paright mbichana richienda left.
Kunze kwegomba paedge?
I think just paedge, kuzvinenge zvakudependa kuti acharova zvakaoma sei.
Ibhedhi kai
pakati nepakati.
Ndokupedzisa zvakanaka. Kuna ava vachangotibata paZTV, ndine chikomana Tafadzwa Nyamukondiwa, anova golf professional wedu. Mukomana akakurira kuWingate uko akatamba golf rake muno, akazoenda kucollege kuchikoro kuAmerica akanochovha makore ariko, ndobva aita zvifundo zvake zvebusiness studies, ndobva adzoka kuno kumusha. Ezvinova zvaari kutamba navo vakomana paSouth Africa ana de Villiers, saka akadzokawo kuZimbabwe Open. Ndobva vambotambawo marounds mairi ekutanga nevamwe, asi vakazomiswa pakati apa, hazvina kunyatsofamba mushe sezvavaitaridza. Saka tiri kungotiwo aiwa ambotaura nevateereri vedu vanzwe vakomana vechidiki, vamwe kunana Heathcliff, vamwe vanogarawo padhuze nemakosi nana Wingate, vamwe vari kusangana negolf kuchikoro, vaone kuti zvinogoneka izvi. Tinogona kunge tiri vashoma zvedu vari kutamba, asi kuSouth Africa uku kunotambwa nevanhu vakawanda, asi vakomana vedu vari kumiramira. Tiri kuona namba 18 vari pamashure vakuteera futi. Papesi yekufamba uku pane vamwe vaunoona kuti tsoka dzine dzaakuda kuremerwa. Zvii zvine zvichiitika mukosi uku?
Kana zvichinetsa ka zvinotanga kutorwadza, nekuti unenge wakufunga sterek, saka inenge ya mental game sterek. Saka kana zvakunetsa manje unotanga kuti kuremerwa netsoka, of which saka zviro zvangodependa kuti iwe uri kuzvibalansa sei, because unofanira kuziva munhu wauri, then unofanira kuziva zvaunofarira kuita.
Uri kuona zvaakuitika panapa. Louis Carrera panapa pamascreen pedu apa apinza 3 mabed, akatanga ari pa14, ezvinova pa17. Winning score yelast year yanga iri 20. Batista apinzawo bed 1 apa 14, saka pane 3 shots apa. MJ uyu ndiye akatamba musheka nezuro akaita 66. Njoka dzinenzi akuda kurema apa. Trevor Fisher achirimo, but 17 na 9 anomubata here 8 shots, kana kuti yango ye3 horse race. Leaderboard yedu uri kuiona sei? Vakomana vapinda kamanje vese zvinezvi.
Pakaoma. Hatingatomboti Trevor Fisher abuda futi, because kuchine makomba akawanda, vachine kuma 14 horse vese, saka achiripo. I think tinozongotanga kutaura takusvika kuna number 15, 16, ndo panoenda kuona kuti zvamira nepapo.
Alright, tiri kuona vanenge varoera vauya nekuright kuya kwaunga uchitaura kuyako. But apa manje kana uri papa, handi pane bhangari yaranga uchitaura kwazoita uyo azotamba 2 mashots mubhanga, akazoita 2 putts akaita double. Vese vanenge vari papo pasi pemusasa uyu. Saka pakadai uriwe apa unenge wakuenda kupi? Remember, pin yedu handitati iri kuright, back right.
Ine ndaongera pakati nepakati pegreen, so that handitomboende kuright kumabunkers kana kuleft kune mamwe mabanga. Saka ndangoda pakati nepakati, ndongoshanda nepata kubva ipapo.
But uyu swing yake ari kuita unga arida kurova, ndoyanga uchiti fade inobva kuleft kubva kuright. Notanga uda kurimonyorora naye. Siya tione kuti zvinobuda here muhuswa imomo.
Arova bhora.
Aripo ndo pakati paya kana kuti iro bhora irori imbotsanangurira vechidiki vedu, nekuti vamwe vanomboona paTV rwendo runo zvayo Royal magreen aya, Ian Tanti naye Matherson ati akaoma ari kutobhaunza. Chiiko chinomboita kuti vamwe vanomborova richiita unge runospina rodzoka kumashure? Chii chinodarisa?
Inyaya yemarowero vanenge wariita. Pane cause mabhora pane vanodawo kurova, pane anospina neasingaspini, saka vanhu vanongochuza kuti varoda kutamba akaita sei, parapa marowero anenge ariita anenge atoita spin yakawandisa.
So ipava zvekutoti dai ranga risina kuspina raigona kutongonorovera richibhamba richitouya kuseri kunai.
Raitobhamba rotoenda kuseri kwegreen, of which ukangoenda kuseri kwegreen uko kuti uita up and down kwakaoma.
Right, siya tione kuti uyo anoimprova here, kuti anoenda zviri nani here, waari kutamba naye arisira kumberi.
Ari kurifarira nematarisiro akariita.
anenge zviri kuenda zvichiimprove. Asika kwavari uku vari kure ka dzitori 20 meters here uye ari kutanga kupata.
Ari kutanga riri kure. Pariri pakati iro ndo pariright nekuti unenge uchitya kuti ukaenda kuseri kwegreen kuti uzoita 4 pane pakunetsa.
Saka anenge achifunda-fundawo ari ikoko.
Anenge akutoonawo pane uye achatanga kupata kuti bhora racho richaenda nekupi.
Saka pamune muchifamba makadaiwo muri kukwikwidza muri mese, panomboitwa nyaya here kana kuti ndezvekutongoti munhu ari kuita mazvake?
Pane nguva dzamunotomboita nyaya nekuti kuti mugoita zvake mazvake zuva rese pane pakaoma. Pane pamunotombotaurawo but hamutauri nyaya dzinoenda kure. Mune muchingotaurawo kuti ameno kuti munogona kungovhunzana kana musingazivani kuti unogara kupi, uri kuitei. But haisi conversation inorasta kana maawa, inogona kungoita 5 minutes ofamba. Asi kakawanda kacho unenge uchitaura nakede wako uye anenge akakutakurira bhegi rako.
Saka mukatotadza kuwirirana manje rinozotambika irimo kana magarawo mine nyaya dzenyu kamuri vanhu patour apa. Pane vamwe vanonakidza kutamba navo here nevamwe vanosvota kutamba navo kana kuti munhu unenge uchingoita zvako zvauri kuita?
Pane vanonakidza kutamba navo, especially kana tongoti ukatamba neshamwari yako kuti muchakompita, yes, but also munoita nyaya and zvinoitawo more relaxed. Asi ukatamba neuya wasingawirirane naye pane pakaoma, but inenge yanguva nemental game yekuti akasimba mumusoro ndiani, nekuti iyi vanhu vakawanda golf vanhu vakawanda vanogona kungopinda namusoro mobva matonetsana. Saka ukangodaro zvinobva zvatokuafecta matambiro ako.
Maonero ako iwewe mukutamba kwamune muchiita umu, ava vakomana vanonzi makeda vanonyanyobatsira here kana kuti vanhu vangotakurawo chete mabhega?
So it depends kuti anogona sei ende futi munowirirana sei. Pane vanogona basa zveshuwa kwozoita vere vanoda kuti vanogona savagone, nekuti ukawana chaiye anokubatsira kuita madecision, cause iyo panotamba apa unenge une vheve stereke uchida autombofunge zvimwe zvinhu. Saka kana una kid right ndiye anozokudzora kuti baba panapa ngatidai so, kana kuti baba I think decision yakanaka panapa ndiye kudai so.
Right. Ava vakomana vari kuleft kwescreen taakuda kusvika kune chaiwo kavari kunhingirikina apa kuleft kweduku. Vari paright akapfeka zvichena vari kupedzisa pa18, uyu ndiye ane pati yake yebhedhi iya yakareba iya. Vari ku9 vapakati nepakati. Ndine chikomana Tafadzwa Nyamukondiwa, tiri kumbokupai komentari yedu muchishona kuitira vaya vanenge vachida kunzwisisawo nerurimi rwamai. Zvamunoziva malanguages edu muno akati one day motiregererawo dai ndaigona chindevere. Iwe zvinezvi uyu munhu ndiye anga atorovera kure, zvinombofamba sei pamutambo wedu?
Haapata izvi zvinonakidza izvo, haapata hazviwanzoitika stereke.
Right, chititsanangurira wona uyu anga arova rakanaka manje mupfungwa make akufungei?
Anenge akufunga kuti uyu bhora rarowa raenda nekupi, saka anenge ada kuteedzerawo zvaitawo zvekupinza, but manje anenge ane pressure yekuti uyu apinze, saka anga ari kure ini ndiri padhuze, saka ndakufanira kutopinzawo.
Right, tichimirira uyo abva kuona umwe wake achipinza pati yakati rebei, tione kuti una kutorawo manotsi here kuti afunda. Aenda kuchikoro pakadai hauzoita pfungwa yekuti dai ndichine mamwe makomba here ndachinonyatsogadzirisa.
Vakomana vatamba zvodadisa pekupedzisira vagona.
Zviri nani ndezvipi, kuzogona waakupedza kana kuti kana uchizotambura wotambura waakupedza?
I think kugona wakupedza, nekuti ukapedza strong zvinotokubatsira kukwidza pamusoro pe-leaderboard. Asi ukatanga kutambura wakupedza Zvinonetsa nekuti zvinobva zvazokudonhedza stereki.
Uyo ndinyasha muyambuka uyo.
Ndinyasha muyambu.
Tione kuti
akapfeka sheti yaorange nekepi yewhite.
Ambotamba asi makaoma vanhu vakawanda vanongofunga kuti kati ndezvekungoningirana zvakaoma kazvino nekuti mese mune muchigona handi mese ipapa pa156 maprofessional mamutori tikabvisa 8 148 hazvisi nyore kaizvo.
Hazvisi nyore and zviri easy kutaura nemuromo kuti dai so but paunozopinda imomo ndipo unoona kuti mukomana ari kutozama imo hamuna kuchipa.
Right, timbotaurawo nevaenzi vedu. Valentine nyasha akupedza raundi yake, umwe we7 maZimbabweans anga asara achikwikwidza, asi arovera zvake kumiti, tinovimba achakwanisa kubuda. So timbonzwa kuna Valentine dai anikweretisawo chindevere chake, ndiye wandositaura naye kana chindevere kana tichiita TV newireless. Takamirira Valentine chatarisa tiri kuona nyasha ari kukumiti yekurudyi.
Pascal, and of course welcome once again to the back line of the ZIM Open Golf Tournament, proudly brought to you by FBC, and my name is Valentine Mabugu. And of course right now I'm joined by the head Group Corporate Affairs for ZIMRI Holdings Limited, that is Valerie Nduza. Valerie, a very good day and good sunny beautiful weather.
Beautiful weather indeed. Thank you for having me.
Indeed, and I'm sure for our viewers they would love to know more about ZIMRI Holdings Limited, your product and services that you offer.
Okay, ZIMRI Holdings is an investment group. We have interests in various sectors of the economy. We have interests in medical insurance, short-term insurance, reinsurance. In fact, when it comes to insurance, we are almost in all the value chain of insurance. And we have presence in 5 countries. We are in Zimbabwe, Botswana, Malawi, Zambia, and Mozambique. And I think very soon you'll be hearing more countries that we're adding to our portfolio. So we are really a Pan-African investment group with diverse interests in various sectors.
So there you have it. If you want to invest, look no further than ZIMRI Holdings Limited. But now you're participating at the 2025 edition of the FBC ZIM Open Golf Tournament. Tell us more about it. We have seen you growing leaps and bounds at the tournament as well. Take us through that journey.
Okay, when we started, I think our participation started in 2023. Then we were just an anchor sponsor. And we started really small, but with the level of publicity and the brand equity that we got out of that, the following year we decided to become an associate sponsor. So this is our 2nd year being an associate sponsor. And for us, the ZIM Open, I think, is arguably one of the best. I know it's debatable, but I think it's one of the best sporting events on the ZIM calendar, and we feel very privileged to also be a part of this. There are good brands that are associated with ZIM Open. I mean FBC, and you look around this year we've got Seedco as well, and for our brand to also be amongst these good brands is something that we feel bodes well with just our general focus and brand development strategies that we have. So for us also this year has been special because they've come in with the CSR element. It's not just golf this year. This year there is the wellness, it's Swing for Wellness, where the proceeds from this will go towards charity. And this year the charity of choice is cancer awareness and just raising cancer awareness. So for us being part of this, we feel that we are also playing our part in just bringing the general awareness and also contributing towards those that cannot afford to buy the drugs that are needed for cancer treatment. So for us, that is really special. It's something that we feel has also just raised the profile of ZIM Open, that it's no longer just a golf tournament, but it's a tournament with a purpose. So I think this will also encourage more corporates to take part next year, so that now they see it's not just entertainment, it's not just golf, it's not just going towards developing sports, but they're going beyond, and I think it's something that's really commendable.
Indeed, so there you have it. Some amazing work being done by Zimri Holdings Limited, and of course they're partaking at this edition of the FBC ZIM Open Golf Tournament. And I've been talking there to Valerie Ndudzo, who is the head group corporate affairs at Zimri Holdings Limited. I certainly hope you did enjoy our chat, and we shall be catching up with them a little bit later for some pomp and fun. And I know for the fans that are coming through, they might come and join, and your clientele as well.
Of course, our tent, I think our hospitality lounge is very popular around here, if you ask around. So it's also been great interaction and just, getting to just hang out with our clients and guests. So definitely you're invited.
There you go. I just earned you and myself an invite for some pomp and fun live from Royal Harare Golf Club. So make it date. Stay tuned on ZBC TV. So Pascal, it's back to you, as I can see a huge crowd is coming to watch the action from the back nine.
Waita ako Valentine tadzoka zvakare kustudio. Ndini wenyu Pascal Mandea, ndine chikona Fadzwa Nyamkondiwa, professional golfer akakurira muno paWingate kudhuze kupomona uko. Akazombotamba muno kuChapman, akaenda kuAmerica kuchikoro, ezvino akadzoka ari kutamba kuSouth Africa. Tafadzwa kuona zviri kuitika panapa. Uyu anonzi Louis Carrera uyo kuArgentina akaenda kuchikoro futika uku Central Florida University here. Ezvino awedzera anga ari pa14, zvino apa 17 under par through 5 holes. Austin Batista anga ari pa13 under apa 14. MJ achirimo 11 under par through 5. Kozouya Samuel Simpson 9 under par, Trevor Fisher Jr. 9 under, Jean Hugo 7 under, chikomana Robbie Chinoi achingori pa 5 under. Auda kutiza ni muntu Louis Carrera uri kuzviona sei?
Halu arikuda kutomhanya nacho nekuti izvo zvakalida ne3. Mumwe wacho ari kumutera akamulida ne6.
Achimboona nyasha achipa manje kubva pabva kuya vhale paanga achitaura paya but riri pasi pegomba ka nhasi hazvina kumbonyatsomufambira mushe nyasha atenderera anenge adonedza 3 nhasi nai.
Ya zvangomuremerawo mbichana.
Asi ke tingati zvanyorema nekuti panhu yese vatamba 5 under ndo best score. Iri kudya karoya handi ndo mataurire enyere kuti
kosi yakatooma vakatoiseta zvekuti ukatamba kana une chance yekutamba royal tamba musi wemande umboona kuti zvanga zvakamira sei. Paunotamba ako musi wemande zvinenge zvachinja, anenge asisiri as firm but anenge achiri firm.
Takumbira iye kuti adzorere zvazvanhu zvakaita. Hanzi imi mapro munoti maamacha anenge achizotaurisa, but maonero ako mubvunzo umwe watabvunza iye tati iye niwewe masetero amakaita 18 handicap achitamba kubva kumachampionship makers kugold anorovei, hanzi naiye akabreaka 100 anenge agona. Iwe unopaunosi unofunga vangarove chii madhara edu ema18 handicap?
Kana ari 18 handicap chaiyo akarowa 110, akarowa 110 ndo paneti aragona stereki.
Saka zvekutoti kana maakutopinda nawo makadai so mune advantage ka, because mandi mune mizo mutamba off zero.
Yeah, no, ichogadi.
Aiwa, siya tione. Nyasha Muyambo achipa ezvino akutarisa kuti aone kuti anga roveke chifo here aseve paa yake. Adadisa mukomana aizvaarisira. Anombobudawo kunze kunana South Africa uko achimeka makata achikwikwidzana nava. Akatombowina ukinyaka uyu futi paSafari 200. Nyasha akatombochibvutawo ikoko vakomana vemunomu Robson Chinoi ndiye akawina ndofunga kana ka5 kana ka6 kuKenya Visitor tine kwatinotombovengawo kune dzimwe nyika vanotosvika vatoti vakomana vekuZimbabwe kana vauya kuno vari kuuya kuzotora so hatisi kumashure ndofunga muAfrica tingati tiri kweAfrica chete handititafadzwa
I want to say tiri kumashure kweSouth Africa nekuti South Africa vanoinvesta mugolf stereke vane magolf courses akawanda uye vakawandawo zve.
Right, Estienne Conrad ndiye anga achitamba naNyasha nhasi. Akona kurava uhwa. Ndine vamwe mukoma wangu anotaura chikaranga hanzi ndakoniwa kurava bundo. Zvakakosha sei kukwanisa kunzwisisa kuti kana wakurikungurutsa bhora iri richabva kupi richienda kupi.
Zvakakosha stereke nekuti ndo panotoseva mashots akawanda. Ukangogona kuverenga uswa unenge watopinda nekuti kakawanda kacho vakomana vanoda kutora makede anoziva kuverenga uswa nekuti ndo pavanokwanisa kukubatsira stereke pane zvimwe zvese.
Ndi Nyasha naTendai. Tendai anotambawo kumakede uku.
Vanotokukidza vakomana.
Tione kuti chikomana Nyasha Muyambo ane pati yake yekuti aite pa kana 4 panamba 18
ichabva nechepa left mbichana.
maonero edu abva akapedza iri anenge a4 over. Nhasi hazvina kunyatsofamba mushe kuna Nyasha Muyambo asi atamba. Baba vake vaitamba futi kanhingi Mudharadhe Muyambo ezvino akuPraza aitombova president weZPGA. Iwo pongori mudiki kuChapman paya wakatombotamba naye kaMudharadhe?
Handinotamba nawo vachiwina. I think yanga iri Harare Open yeGordon Pilsner yakambotambawo paChapman iyaya. Ndo pandakaona vachitamba pavakazoenda kuplayoff na I think yanga Ryan Keynes.
Vakazoenda kuplayoff panamba 18 paya.
Zvakanakidza musoya vaya.
Vari kuPraza asi vachiri professional golfer vanombouya kuno tinoimba vachazouya vachitambawo nevezera ravo nekuti pane matournament anoitwa nema50 and over. Saka pamwe zvirimo muropo vanhu vauya manje panamba 9 apa. Ndo kune vakatungamira tournament vari pa number 7 asi vanhu vanofanira kunge vari kuteera Robson naye.
Vanenge vari kuteera Robson Chinoi nekuti ava panumber 9.
Magiya ari kuramba kuchinja abva angoramba ari palevel pai papo the last 3 days. Pamwe kuback 9 uku pane zvichachinja makumba achiripo naita vadzo.
Achiripo. Let's hope anombopusha mbichana. Achinawo mukana wokupusha.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the crowds gathering, choosing to follow the last groups, the people who probably have the greatest chance of winning the tournament. So that is a nice view of the player on the fairway on number 9.
We are right yondera Masunga apa number 18.
Tonda kunopedza naye. Pavanhu vese vanga vachitamba apa ndiyega asingambobuda kuenda kuSouth Africa kawo. Imbovadhonza yevakomana zvinogona kungonobatana kakuSouth Africa. Akakurira kuWingate futi kawo but zvino ari kunyanyotamba kuBrook hanti.
Rekatimbozama. Kutonda akakurira Wingate. I remember pandaitamba golf kuWingate. Tonda anga aripo. Ndiye munhu andaitotarisirawo. Ndichivaona vachitamba zvichinakidza.
Ayoba azoita zvakati asi nika asi yanga akapenga iri mukomo wacho nika idya na Scott Vincent kana na Kirin vachibva kuAmerica uchiri kuzviziva.
Yeah, Nick mukoma wacho ndo havaigona Stereke, but mfana akutopisa.
So let's see what today does on that. Arina kuchipa kairi ningi number 18 pane pin up. Akomana vari kutya unofira kumabhanga kuya kutamba unomwe azotadza kubuda ka.
Vanenge vachitokutya.
Uyo ndirobi pa left kawo. Viewers, our first look at the hometown favorite and leading local professional Robson Chinoi on your screen to the left on the number 9 screen. Up to this point, he has been level half the round. By the look of things, he's holding some lofted club of sorts, a wedge of sorts. I think he didn't make it onto the green. Let's see whether he can get it up and down from there. Still a lot of golf to play, but nobody running away with the tournament. I think Louis Carrera picked up 3 shots today, started on 14 under. Now on 17 is 3 groups behind Son, and his playing partner Batista picked up 1 shot. So the lead is now on 17 under, but still a lot of golf to play. Robson Chinoi rehearsing his bunker shot. Looks like he short-sided himself there, but the green doesn't run away from him, so perhaps maybe not the most difficult of bunker shots. What do you think, Tafadzo?
Yeah, if the ball is not plugged, he has a good chance of making up and down. And Robson, he also really likes bunkers, so I think he's very comfortable in the bunker right now.
After the hole, I think the green runs away from him. So he will have a relatively tricky one for par there. To our right, Tonde seems to be away now. We've seen this part before,
yes.
Similar to the one that Nyasha in the group ahead couldn't convert.
Yes, that's the one that comes off the left a little bit, and he's also putting up here, so he's a good chance. He's a good chance.
So Tonderai Masunga to the right on hole 18, putting for birdie. Looks like a good try, not the easiest of pin placements. So let's see whether he taps it in, choosing to mark it. Right, Tafadzo. Aim point. You can see what Robson is doing there. What's the general idea there? That is relatively new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been around. Then it's now, starting to be common. It was never a common thing to use, but now, I see they go and stand in between the ball with their feet, sort of feel like they're feeling something. Mostly they're feeling the slope to see if it's from right to left or left to right, and then when they lift up their little pinky or thumb finger or whatever finger they're lifting, they're counting the percentage of the slope. So it's almost like you feel it, then you almost gotta guess what the percentage of the slope is. So like there, Robson lifted 1, so it was 1%.
Oh, not quite. Robson Chinoi, local choosing not to mark. chips in for bogey. Still 9 more holes to go. That should take him to 4 under par for the tournament. He was stuck on 5 under. But that hole has not been very kind to him this week.
No,
I believe yesterday he dropped on 9 and 10 as well. So hopefully he'll be able to do better in the next 9 holes. Kaminsky playing with Tonde Masunga. He underread that. Unfortunately, another bogey for him. Tonde had chosen to mark. He's line 3. Is there an advantage in marking, or perhaps maybe if you mark, you then start thinking a lot of things? What's your usual routine yourself?
I usually mark it just because it calms me down, because sometimes, you know, you putt and then you miss, so you're kind of frustrated. So when you mark, it just helps you calm down. See, Tonde just missed that little one.
Yeah, unfortunately in golf, as they say, there are no easy shots. But all in all, a good tournament, not what you would have expected, but as we were explaining earlier on, it's only 64 players out of the 156 who started. If you want to do the numbers, that's 41% who make the cut. Unfortunately, golf is not like many other sports, so most of our golf fans, when they hear that somebody has missed the cut, they probably think he would have played terribly. So even those who come, no matter where you come from, if you are not in the top 60 in ties after 2 days, and you try again next on, that is another view of hole number 10. I believe we should be seeing Robson Chinoi and his playing partner. Stefan Weiss Taylor. They are the ones teeing off on number 10 now. Stefan looking anxiously at his tee shot, choosing to grow with an iron with less than driver. This is statistically the toughest hole for the professionals. Another look at the patrons enjoying the golf. Hopefully in a few hours time, in a couple of hours, we'll be crowning a winner. Robson Chinoiting off of on number 10. Going again with less than driver. Still a lot of golf to play. As you can see from our screen, some of us have chosen to come visit and watch the golf in person. Quite a sizable crowd watching proceedings at Royal Harare Golf Club. Perfect weather for golf. The sun is out shining. It's not too hot. It's mild. It's not a windy day, but the way the course has been set up, the greens are still hard, so not an issue at all. So to the right of our screens there, Robson with a bit of a smile, going after his tee shots after number 10. Not the best of rounds he's having today. He's just dropped a shot on number 9, so he's now sitting on 4 under. Perhaps maybe, you know, the 13 shots behind the leader. Perhaps this is not his year. You never know with golf. We have seen, you know, some people dropping shots towards the end there. So that's his tee shots there on the fairway where you want to be. Hole number 10 tends a bit to the right. Interesting choice of club there. Look at our Zimbabwe flag on number 18, where we expect the last parts to be dropping as we then crown the FBC Zimbabwe Open champion for 2025. Interesting choice for Robson there, going with driver on the deck. Put a good swing to it, but by the look of things, his tee shot wasn't in the best of places in the fairway, but at least he had a go at the green. Ordinarily, these pros would be hitting a short iron into number 10. That should be the ball of his play now. As you can see, even though the course is dry, we do have some rough, and number 10 green is not easy to hold when you are hitting your ball from the rough like this. Let's see what Stefan Weers-Taylor comes up with from the rough there. That's Robson Chinoi working with the president of the Junior Golf Association of Zimbabwe, Temba Sibanda. He's the one who's leading those who organize competitions for the 18 and under. Over the school holidays, they usually have tournaments going on at Royal Harare. Finishing all there. Jack Redman